Yellow. Hi. We are all here, so let's hopefully everybody can hear us. And if you can't, please let us know in the chat so that I fix it. My name is Nikki. I am from Beholder to No One, a D&D and TTRPG podcast, and I'm here with some friends to play this lovely game. And I'm very excited. I've never played it before, and we're probably all going to die, but that's fine. So we will be DM'd by Adam from Snyder's Return. Snyder's Return. Return Snyder is his Twitter name, so that's why I'm confused. And we have Darby from Chaotic Creations. We have Dan from The Last Tapestry, and then we have Alex, who is on my show a crap ton and will be on my show again in the future with some Vampire the Masquerade. So, yay. Yeah, so we're not nervous at all.
Not at all.
Nervous?
We'll be fine.
All right, let's, I guess, take it away.
All right. Notes of points before I read the introduction. There is a pool, as it were, of fortune points. So because there are 4 of you, there is a 5th fortune point. They are a pool that you guys can draw from if you want to re-roll attack rolls, re-roll sort of saving throws or skill checks. So once that pool of 5 fortune points is gone, you're going to have to rely on your own luck. Each of you at the start of the session gets 1 for yourselves. But once that 1 is used up, you can't then replenish it because this is the nature of this particular one-shot and the nature of the beast, as it were. Does anyone have any questions before we start?
Is that different than fate points? Or
yeah, so each of you get 1 fate point to use to re-roll anything, but there's a pool of 5 fortune points, and your fortune points become my misfortune points. So if you use them, I get them, and then they get removed from the game. So be careful in your choosing to use such a valuable resource. Anybody have any other questions?
Probably a lot, but
that we particularly need a lot of?
You'll need percentile dice, so however if you use a tens and a units or just 2 tens die to do your percentile, and then a d6, which will be your fury dice. You may need a couple of those because if you roll a 6 on the fury dice, you then get to roll another one and a 6 and another one and so on and so forth. And that's how damage stacks up should we come to a combat situation. But more on that if/when we reach such a situation.
okay. Extra D10s, got it.
All right. Yeah, so D10 is for percentile and D6 is for fury/chaos dice.
Got all this.
I have a silly question. For fate points, we all get 1, and that's 1. Because we took a drawback, or do we get 2 if we took a drawback?
You should get a 2nd if you took a drawback.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 1 per character and then 1 per drawback. So if you took drawbacks, you get 1 extra, or another 1 extra.
Got it.
Okay. I'm definitely going to ask about that again later.
That's fine. That is what we're here for.
I have the memory of a pea.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. High in the sky, we sit upon the wing of a bird of prey. From up here, we can see the snow-covered mountain peak piercing through the dull grey cloud cover that smothers the land and obscures our view to the ground below. Light glistens off the bird as its head scans the vista, then tips its wing, descending eastward into the clouds below. This may be the last we see of the sun, unobstructed by the oppressive nature that blocks its view. We follow the bird down to a wiry tree as it lands to survey the scene. From the bird's shoulder we leave and following along a part dirt pack, part cobblestone road, as though its construction was haphazard, forgotten, or abandoned. We follow this road to the stone walls of a settlement at the far end, And we find ourselves in the hustle and bustle of a metropolitan town square, which is overlooked by a manor house. Welcome to Augsburg. We find our group, all of them all sort of close together, close to the notice board of the town. The noise of trade and commerce and a town crier are ringing in your ears. If you'd like to introduce yourselves, starting from first in order.
Darby.
It's me. Well, oh God, why do I have to go first?
No pressure.
Introducing Gladiolus Gleeful, my little frail halfling gal, who's definitely not an aristocrat trying to scam people for money.
No, of course not.
Why would I ever do that? Want to buy here the snake oil?
Nice. All right. And next, please.
I am Kelly Graves. I just really like to just crush things and make sure that people tell me what I need them to tell me, no matter how much I have to hurt them in the process to get the information. It's not my problem.
Interesting. And next, please.
I believe that's me, right? Cool. I'm Lockwoods, and I may or may not have a devil deal. And I grew up a gutter snipe and became middle class. So, things are working out for me.
And finally.
All right. So, final member of the group, you see Seth is standing at 6'2". He has brown hair and gray eyes and tons of freckles on his face. Makes him very memorable to people. You see him just kind of staring off into the distance, a little bit tired. Seth is a socialite, and he likes to use his ability to manipulate and deceive people to accomplish what he needs to do.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and welcome to Augsburg, this sort of bustling, cosmopolitan, metropolitan settlement, sort of large town ringed in this wall contained within. Down here at the lower sort of levels is the town square, the market, and sort of the scanning the scene, the grubbier looking establishments. And as we raise up the banks towards, you get a good sense that the higher up we ascend, the grander the houses become. And then sat upon the top, looking down upon this entire settlement, this sort of hamlet town, is a large sort of walled manor estate with a large manor house and a smaller sort of structure just set to one side. There are sort of people milling in and about. They're not necessarily sort of pushing into you as a group as you sort of stand here at the notice board, but
They better not.
Lots of things going. There's lots of things happening around you. So what would you like to do?
I would like to point out that it's hilarious that it goes 6'2", 5'2", and then 2 halflings.
That's fine.
That just amuses me.
It's when I put things up high if I get upset with you.
Now, Seth.
All right. I'll start by looking at the message board and seeing if there's anything that could possibly pique our fancy.
Well, as you sort of have a look across this notice board, there is sort of the market sort of scheduled calendar as to when the market takes place in certain traders. There's a lost cat kind of poster put to one side, but the thing that sort of draws the eye is a sort of beautifully sort of filigreed notice that sits right in the middle, as though pasted intentionally across every other notification that it can possibly cover, and it reads "Wanted." And beneath this beautifully sort of calligraphy writing, it goes on to say, group required to escort Lord of the Manor to wanted group required to escort Lord of the Manor to Anderida for special tradition, 2 days travel will be paid handsomely on return.
I like the sound of handsomely.
As do I.
And listed on the bottom is basically what might as well be a big arrow pointing towards the manor house, and it has by request, very nicely worded, by request of the Waldorf estate.
All right, then. Well, would you all like to earn a little bit of coin? It seems like we could... This should be fairly easy, escorting some simpleton to this other town.
And plus, it might give us the opportunity to make some bets, beat some heads in. I know some people like to slip their hands in some pockets, but we won't need to say anything about that.
And maybe a new place to sell some of my wares.
Oh, your snake oil is doing wonders, I say out loud.
Yes, your hair is really growing back after that tragic fire.
All right. So in the middle of your announcements of your successes, questionable, there is still this hustle and bustle. There is trade happening around you. There is the noise of a crier and a bell ringing out. Sort of all around, you can see folks drifting in and out of this square, looking to both trade and congregate, drift off, drift through. So where would you like to go?
And so we're heading to the Waldorf estate, you said, was the one who was putting this together?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to continue to walk in that direction with, my shoulders back a little bit, walking with purpose and making sure that nobody tries to run into me or makes it seem like they can ask me a question. I got places to be, people to see, money to make.
Nice. The rest of you, do you follow?
I'll follow close enough, but if anybody even thinks about running into me, I'll just shove them.
Brutal. All right, I can see where this is going.
Look, the dice rolled what the dice rolled, okay?
They did. Very true.
I'm just thinking of the SNL skit with the cardinal where it's them going around pushing people out of the way as the bishop walks through the middle of the square.
Pretty much. Get out of the way!
Well, you say that, and as Seth, you continue, followed by Kelly and the other two. As you continue on, a female emerges from through the crowd. She looks concerned. She's like, Fitz, has anyone seen Fitz? My boy Fitz. You guys, could you help me find my boy Fitz?
Your son?
My boy, yes.
But what's he
Well,
look like?
He's brown hair, pale skin, breeches, sort of brown trousers. He's my boy.
Can I look around for anybody who meets that description? Like literally anybody, doesn't even have to be a kid.
You absolutely can.
Could you give me a boost?
Yeah, can I give them an advantage by picking them up? Is that possible?
You can make it easier for them. Yes.
So what do I do? Roll?
Awareness. So whatever your awareness skill is.
It's a 40 bonus 5. So I don't know what that means. I rolled a 35 and my skill is a 40.
So you rolled under, so that is a success. So going into rolls now, if you roll a double, effectively or matching numbers, and you are below your score, that's a critical success. If you roll double, like 66, 77, yada yada, above your score, that is a failure, and I'll make a note of that and terrorize you with it later.
Plan accordingly is what I'm hearing.
So while I'm lifting Kelly up, I'm going to look back at this woman who told us that her child is missing. Can I kind of tell what social class that she is from?
Do me a roll scrutinize. But I will.
I do not have that.
Okay, So you roll your sort of base score for
Sure.
perception. Yeah.
Pass.
Okay.
Not crit.
Okay. So while you're lifting Kelly up, and Kelly, you're sort of scanning the scene in the town. Seth, you turn around, and she seems to be a bit of a mismatch. The brooch she's wearing is sort of a bronze rather than silver, indicating a lower class, but the top seems to be of a finer material, potentially of a sort of burger's approximate sort of affordability. And the trousers and the boots look sturdily made. The boots somewhat of a higher quality than you may expect to tie in with the rest of the outfit.
Okay.
Kelly, as you scan the scene, there's a lot of people with brown hair, some tall, some short, some definitely children of sort of vague resemblance to the very vague description given.
I just say, what was his name?
It's Fitz.
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 Yeah.
His name is Fitz, my boy.
I just cover my hands over my mouth and scream Fitz as loud as I possibly can, and see if any of the people that I notice look at me.
Pretty much everybody stops to look at some, because over to one side there's a town cry
Rude.
with a bell, and even that comes to a stop as this voice sort of rings out in this town square area, and a good number of the people in and around are like, "Huh? What?"
Well done, Kelly.
And as you're watching, the lady says, "Oh, there, I think he's went down this alley. Come with me."
Is there an equivalent of an insight check in the system? I
That's
don't
what I was about to
like,
ask.
oh, I think I see my child of an ambiguous age running down this alleyway, even though someone just shouted their name. Trustworthy.
That would be scrutinize.
This various
Okay.
tan child.
Cool beans. I have a focus in scrutinize or a rank in scrutinize.
Nope, I think she's telling the complete truth.
So I roll. Remind me again, because I have the memory of a goldfish. What
That's
I
all
need
right.
to roll.
So roll your percentile dice, your tens and ones, and you are trying to roll below your percentage. If you have ranks in it, then you want then that adds to the number you can roll beneath.
I see. And does the bonus do anything for this roll?
No.
Sounds good. Oh,
Skill ranks, yeah.
my scrutinize percentage is a 52, and I rolled a 45.
Nice. There is definitely something odd about the exclamation of this child unseen and now found that sort of sits a little off with you, even from your diminutive stature. You're sort of reading the body language from a different angle, and it sits off with you slightly.
From up here, she looks legit, though.
I'm
It's
gonna
from
tell
down.
her. It looks like she had a mishmash of clothing from possibly different people. This might not be the best idea. However, we could follow her and then rid this town of somebody who is stealing items from those who are less fortunate.
And of course, if we can't find who these items belong to, then they must, of course, belong to us now.
I think that's how that works.
Absolutely. But, ma'am, what did you say your name was?
Oh, I'm Gillen. Gillen Schwartz. Sorry, I didn't catch your names. Thank you so much for asking, sort of offering your help. Please, my boy Fitz, this way, please.
Why don't you lead the way? I can't quite see which alley that your lad ran into.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. And she sort of. There's a dog barking in the background of the market square. It's quite distracting. And she sort of weaves between you, slightly sort of gauging you for size. Seth, are you still holding Kelly,
Sure, why not?
just gonna.
She's
Yeah.
just like, onward!
And
We
you
must
can
find the
see-
child.
You can see as you sort of follow Gillen through the town square, clearing the crowd as she sort of quite nimbly weaves between the people that are just carrying on about their day.
Can
You
I,
move past. Yes, go on.
looking around, is there anyone following us? Kind of. Can I
You can-
scrutinize the crowd? Or is that
You can do me. Is that awareness? I'm trying to work this all out for myself. It's possibly an awareness, since you're trying to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, hi. You want to come in? How polite of you to wait. All right, awareness. And
Can I
nope,
also-
that's a critical failure.
Since I have a higher stance, can I also do it?
Since you have a different viewpoint, I will let you also roll some awareness.
Also, nope.
I rolled a 66.
Oh, nice. Noted.
3 numbers off of the nice number.
I got a
Moving
61.
on.
So I
Okay.
failed.
So, Kelly, from your perspective, there is just people shifting sort of everywhere, crisscrossing. It's hard to get a bead on if there's sort of watchers in the wings or anything like that. Gladiolus, you just have sort of the group both obstructing your view and then people sort of intersecting and crisscrossing in front of you. It sort of blocks your lines of sight as you move through the crowd. The hustle and the bustle behind you and the sort of the noise of some of the taverns that you're now moving to the extremities of the town square sort of distract you slightly.
I see legs.
You see legs, occasionally a cloud as you sort of scan around.
Ah.
And so as you sort of break through the sort of the last of the main crowd and into the sparse areas, she says, "Oh, it was this alley just down here. We'll go down here. I'm sure I saw my boy Fitz."
Ma'am, what's it that you do here in the city?
Oh well, I mean now is not the time. I'm trying to find my boy Fitz, but I work in the taverns. I as a serving lady.
Oh, which tavern? I love to frequent taverns.
Oh well, I work in a number. You see, I have to earn my way, but the Fleur de Lis is quite a venue.
Would I recognize that place? Because I literally have consumed alcohol as a thing on my sheet, so I am very frequently doing that.
I'm a connoisseur of the booze.
I get drunk a lot.
You have probably stumbled between this and sort of at least two of the other taverns here in Augsburg.
Have I ever seen this happening in the first place?
I mean, depends on just how drunk you get and how often you frequent. So potentially, but it's not something that will immediately come to mind.
Okay. I just like look at her and like, hold on, let me squint. I'm not drunk enough for this yet. Hold on. Maybe I got some beer.
I've got this lovely fermented snake eyes that
No.
may have an alcoholic quality to them.
I don't trust anything you have, no.
Can I hide? Like as we're getting close to the
Sure.
as we're getting close to this alley, can I hide in such a way that like I can see where these things where the party is going in, but I'm not, going with them.
You can either roll guile to appear innocent or things like that, or to hide would be, it's on here somewhere, skullduggery. We'll go with that. Stealth, sorry. Skullduggery is something slightly different.
Well, I was about to say I have both of those, so I'm cool.
Stealth.
All right. What if I match? Do I not? Do I
In
fail?
in a good way or a bad way? Is it below your number or above it?
It's on it.
It's the
Yeah,
exact number.
Then we'll
Ooh.
say that's a good thing.
Okay,
We'll
good.
say it's a critical success. It probably written in the rules exactly what happens if you match it, but I think it's match and below. So we'll say it's fine.
Okay.
Put that down as a critical success. So as you move through the crowd towards the edge, the others start to head towards this alleyway led by Gillen. How and where do you want to position yourself in such a concealed fashion?
Like, I don't know, if there's like a stack of like barrels or boxes or something like near the mouth of the alley, I want to like hide there. Yeah, that's my plan. So if that's part 1.
All right, part 1. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you guys are approaching, miraculously there is a set of barrels just set to one side, just a couple of feet or about a foot back from the alley entrance, sort of in a triangular sort of formation with one stacked on top, allowing you to sort of pop in and out, sort of not quite Metal Gear Solid cardboard box style, but you can conceal yourself well enough.
Colonel,
Okay.
I'm trying to sneak around.
I'm gonna say to Kelly, okay, well, down you go, and give me my hat back, and I'm going to take Kelly and put her down off of my shoulders, and then I'm going to just kind of casually keep my hand on my rapier.
Do I know any gossip about the fleur de lis or any robberies that have been happening recently?
You can roll a again. Let's try and suss this out.
That'd be a rumor check.
Yes, we will go with a rumor.
And I'm good at gossip. Ooh, yes. I rolled a 15 and my rumor is a 52. So
Nice. You have heard in whisperings of a small crew that has started to operate. They have sort of moved across from Weisheim and Derrida, strangely, and have found fortuitous pickings here in Ulstberg. It's a small operation, something that's getting underway, but the town haven't caught onto it as yet. So the rumors sort of slip through the various networks you are linked to in one devious way or another.
can I trip her as she tries to enter the alley?
You can certainly try.
Just stick a foot out.
This lady is
Yeah.
probably innocent, and we're just being.
I was about to say, if she
terrible.
ends up being innocent, that's hilarious.
I'll just make a note of that. I'll do a unarmed strike
All
to try
right.
and trip her up.
How do I do that?
So I think it's simple melee.
Ooh.
So whatever your combat score is, I did have unarmed strikes up here somewhere.
It's a skill. Simple melee.
Oh. Cool. That's very low. This might not go well. I love these dice. My score is a 30. The percentage was a 39. I rolled a 30.
Nice. So you're able to sort of tuck her toe out, just catching her in her stride as you sort of catch the tailing foot. And she's like, oh, and she sort of scans the ground to see like a loose stone or a cobble or something that could have caused it. Oh my. I've not tripped up coming down this alley before. She sort of says under her breath, but loud enough to sort of prick her ears up.
How much have you been coming down this alley?
Oh, as I said, I work in the taverns. I frequent the taverns and the area. So
You don't need to come
sometimes
down the alley to get to the taverns.
sometimes I come this way to clear my head.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
When it's
Are you
really
sure?
dangerous down the alley, though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there might be
Oh,
somebody who
well.
robs you or something.
Oh, such a shame that would be to happen. But my boy Fitz, we must press on.
When she tripped, were there any weapons that appeared more visible when she was sort of like caught
You
herself?
did, for the briefest moment, see what looked like the sort of the short hilt of a dagger, sort of just just flash for a second, as the sort of the outfit lifted and then sort of fell back into place.
I would like to emphasize that Kelly still thinks she's telling the truth, that her son is in danger, but she's also saying, like, this doesn't make sense. Like, the taverns are that way. Like, what are you even talking about?
I know taverns, and this is not the way to get to a
This
tavern.
is not the right way.
Now, you wouldn't happen to know of any of a this could be totally silly, but a crew that's been robbing good folks in alleyways and relieving them of their worldly possessions?
Oh my! Then we must band together. Please stay close for my protection.
You
We
can't
wouldn't want to
even
get
keep a
lost.
hold of your kid. How are you going to help protect us?
What's
That's-
her face doing?
She's trying to keep as deadpan as possible, and sort of you can see the brow sort of furrow as she tries to sort of keep you engaged, as it were, and sort of bring you on through. Let's not worry about a crime. My boy fits.
Then why don't you just go down the alley and we'll wait right here at the entrance for you? This one's a dead end, if I do recall.
Oh, you know these streets so well. All right then. All right. Fitz. And she sort of starts to move away from you. And she moves away and gets to the end. You can see there's a doorway just set into the left-hand side of at the end of this alleyway, where it sort of stops abruptly and goes off to a little bit into this doorway. And you can see there's just the faintest of shadow in the doorway beyond. She's like, Fitz. And then she sort of turns to look back at you as though to say, come on.
And who's that in the doorway?
It must be Fitz. I have now seen the confusion and the suspicion, and I'm not that stupid. So I take out my Morgenstern and I just have it on my shoulder. So there's just like this pole with a chain dangling with a giant spike ball.
Casual like.
Just super casual. So just in case someone's hurting Fitz, we gotta be sure.
You can see that the head tilt as though trying to work out and size everybody up in the three of you that are clearly visible in the alley. And you can see she sort of goes and just walks through the door. Normally, like, the whole facade drops and she goes through the door. And as the door swings and swings back, you just see a large outline, as potentially as big as you, Kelly, and you, Seth, a large frame, just outline briefly for a second. And then the door slams shut behind.
Oh, we found Fitz. Awesome.
Right. That was wasted. I'm just going to turn around.
Not quite so small.
I mean, we could just go break the door down.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Are any opposed to that idea?
Where did Luck go?
Luck peeks his head over a barrel and he's like, I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, hi,
hello.
Luck.
Hi. You know, I wasn't sure how long she was going to keep that up, so I wasn't sure if I had this whole plan in my head. I think now it was a bad plan. So
Was it to crush them? Because that's usually my plan.
no, mine was a little bit weirder than that. You see, I was going to pretend to be her son to throw her off, her son that doesn't exist. I was going to try to throw her off, and maybe, I don't know what my plan was after that. I had step 1 and 2, and then I had profit, but I skipped.
Step 1, 2, and then profit. That's usually my motto right there.
I think there's a confusion, like a missing step in there at some point, but we could just go get profit, because I'm sure if Fitz is in there, maybe there's a reward. She still thinks Fitz is real.
You are right. Is there anybody that would be opposed to us cleaning up this riffraff?
Maybe we'll get a nice reward from the city for keeping people safe.
Or maybe we can alleviate them of some of their wares. And I'm going to be like, all right then, and take out a vial of white like paint and put it on my hand, and then just kind of like Urukai Saruman it onto Kelly's face to cast Invoke Fury.
Nice.
I'm like, do I have to roll anything for that?
Don't think so. Magic's one of the things I'm still learning. So, what does it say with respect to Invoke Fury in your texts?
So, Invoke Fury is... Let me open this. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. So, while Kelly's being slapped in the face with white paint, what are the other two doing?
Pulling out my little I forget what it's called.
The garrote.
Yeah, that thing. Just
Unlock.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna pull out his blackjack, which here I thought that was the card game, which is why I chose it. So but I still have no idea what it is. But it is.
It's
my
a
weapon.
bag full of like
stuff.
Yeah, basically like coins or ball bearings or something like that you hit people in the head with.
Awesome.
It would
It's like
hurt.
that Vine with the woman where she's like, every time your kids are allowed, you put a quarter in the no yelling socket, then soon you just like it's like
All right, I did manage to find it. So I do have to roll an invocation in order to cast this, followed by having to roll a chaos die. So let's see how this goes.
Hooray! Chaos.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do pass.
Okay.
So now, Kelly, when you attack people, you get an additional D6 of fury onto your next
Yes.
melee or ranged attack.
Nice.
Can I position myself directly in front of the door so that I can charge once the door is opened?
As far as the four of you are aware, you are stood in a completely empty alleyway with a doorway at the end. So yes, you are easily able to do such.
Fantastic. Anybody want to knock on the door?
No, go break it down. We already know what's in there.
I know, but I want to.
Well, be polite and not.
Well, I want to use this on them and not this door. Okay.
Can I throw the rocks? Like someone's. Can I pick up some pebbles and throw it like someone's knocking? Just like.
Yeah, you can throw a couple of pebbles if you want. I would be more concerned with hitting Kelly with one if it goes stray. Shtink, shtink. All right. Well,
it's fine.
so what are your intentions? You're stood in front of the door, Kelly. You've had
So
a
my-
spell from Seth.
Here is my intent. I want to charge, which is my run amok, which gives me plus 20 chance to strike with a melee-based attack. And I want to use my Morgan Star, which will then, if I hit, give me plus 1d6 chaos dice and the fury dice. And I don't know what the damage is, because I don't understand how that works. I think it's just my brawn
Yeah.
or
and then,
combat.
I think it's.
So basically, I just
your-
want to do as much chaos as I possibly can. Also, if
Sounds
I
fair.
roll a crit, it does more, so
Nice. All right.
that's why I
well,
wanted them to open the door, so it's on them and not the door.
So you do hear as you sort of prime up and stones are hit the door from Gladiolas. Tink, tink. You hear a doof, 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 doof. And that you can hear the door mechanism start to shift, as in to sort of allow access. And you can hear the latch lift, the door start to creak inwards.
I will start to charge as soon as the door starts to open.
All right. We'll do that, and then we'll go into initiative. So as you go bursting in with
We're
your
gonna die in
charge,
the first 20 hours.
You're going to die. I'm going to hide in a barrel, which means I automatically win.
I win.
Survive the Hunger Games.
Yeah. So as you burst into the door with your charge, and we'll go into the full attack in a second, what you do see there sort of stood is a large sort of ogre, for want of a better description, that sort of blocks the whole corridor just beyond the doorway that you're about to charge through. So as the door opens, this figure is just kind of stood there. You're racing in, Morningstar in hand. Please roll.
That is an 11,
Nice.
which I believe is a critical.
It is. It is a critical. So you get extra damage on that as well.
I get to inflict the ruined quality to the foe's shield, weapon, or armor. Overwhelming force has no effect on. Yes. So I get to affect ruined. Is he have a shield, weapon, or armor?
He had a. The outfit would normally have a shield, but it was put to one side. He did have a weapon, though.
I will have ruined effect on his weapon then. And then I roll 2d6, because one is for the force thing, the fury thing.
I think
all right, so 3 plus, is it brawn?
Pretty sure it is.
So that'll be 7 damage. I don't know if it doubles like D&D does. And then I rolled 3 on the attack or the fury dice.
So what is all that added up?
Yeah, it's the vicious and powerful one.
Did you also roll your additional d6 for the actual damage?
Yeah.
Because you have your bonuses, and then you roll a d6 that you add to it as well.
Another 3.
Nice.
3 threes. So 9 plus 4. And then if powerful or vicious, which vicious does the 1d6 chaos die. I don't know what that means. Does that mean another damage, or is that chaos die towards my corruption?
That from. You wouldn't have thought I sat and went through all of this, would you?
Oh. It says.
I've literally everything printed out bar that one piece of information.
The notes in the sheet I have is when a target drops to moderately wounded, roll 1 chaos die. If the result is a 6, they suffer a moderate injury.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's moderately wounded or seriously wounded in any form of way from that, but which would really suck if it was not wounded at all.
Well, ordinarily get a chance to parry that, but since you rolled a crit, that sort of negates any chance of this large form, and technically it's a surprise, so be able to hit. So it does not. You rolled that, so it's that. So he moves down to God. Gotta keep track of this.
Oh, cool. And the thing explodes normally, like Savage Worlds. So if you roll a 6, you get a 6. You can roll.
Yeah, and it sort of stacks up like that.
Cool.
Yeah, so as you sort of race in, ruining the weapon and hitting him hard, like very hard, roll the 1d6 chaos die and we'll see if there is a wound inflicted.
4.
A 4, so no. But with you striking hard into this Fitz. And damaging the weapon, I'd like you each to roll initiative. So that's 1d10 plus your initiative, which should be on your sheet somewhere.
17.
Oh, there it is.
17.
18.
18. For this thing.
Picking fights with the wrong people.
I mean, you've broken his weapon. He didn't have a shield, so you haven't done half bad. There. 2 dice for only. So use that. Okay. They rolled low. They rolled a 9. So I'm just looking for Gladiolus and Locke. Initiative 1d10 plus your initiative.
Okay. So I think mine is 10.
We'll go with that.
I think mine is 8 plus 1d10. Yeah, 12.
12. Nice. All right. That's actually worked out nice and in order for the piece of paper I'd written them down on. So, Kelly, your reputation for crushing skulls and crushing hearts precedes you as you smash through the door, clattering down into this large ogreish form with your morning star. Startled and slightly injured, you get the drop, and it's you to go again. So you have your 3 action points and your actions in combat.
Awesome. I'm trying to look up what powerful is really quick because I forget on the weapon stats. I can figure out what page it's on. All right. Well, I'm just going to hit him again, I guess. Because that's what I'm good at. Or I could use my physical prowess to intimidate him into giving me all his shit.
I mean, you could. They are options open to you or available to you.
So I'm gonna try that because that sounds entertaining. So the focus means I don't have any negatives currently, I don't think, so it doesn't really do anything. Correct?
I think it would be down to me to impose a negative upon you. I could say, oh, it's...
Well, the
challenge.
physical prowess, the focus means I ignore negatives.
Well, which you don't have at this time.
Right, so it doesn't really give me any bonus, but... Oh, no, I'm not very scary. That was 79. I needed a 54 or lower. So I just give us all your stuff now, or I'll punch you or something.
No. Seth, you're outside. You watched a door go crashing in and a morning star flailing behind and a loud clang.
All right.
I was so
Can I
badass.
see? Are they pretty far in that I can see pretty clearly what all is in the room, or can I only see the back of Kelly?
Given the relative positions, you can. Kelly's just inside the door. The form of Fitz is just beyond her. Within sort of, they're engaged in combat in that respect, and beyond is a corridor. So there's no sort of big open room beyond.
Okay, and I would have heard Kelly try to do the intimidation.
I would imagine so, as it sort of echoes down the alley.
She's not a quiet person.
Please, can I have
Wait.
your stuff?
The ogre's name is Fitz?
We're assuming it is.
Yeah.
That's adorable. We can't hurt him.
Too bad, too late.
Can we hurt him a little bit as a treat?
I'll be like, right then, Fitz, you had your chance. I'm gonna throw a magic missile at him.
Ooh.
That is a success without a crit. I'm going to go ahead and roll my chaos die, which does nothing. Okay. Let me go and get the damage. All right. So you see Seth just kind of pull out a small silver dart out of his pocket and then go behind himself and then whip it forward real fast. And as it goes forward, it turns into a ball of light that slams into Fitz for 13 damage.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
So, you roll me a 1d6 because he's moderately damaged. I want to know if he takes
Sure.
an injury from such an impact.
4.
4, so he does not. But it hits, and it hits hard, and you can hear echoing back out into the sort of the alley with that. "Ah!" Next, unless you're doing anything else, Seth.
No, I'll just be ready. I think that consumes the majority of my actions.
I'll just say, "Oh, your breath smells."
Quite the charmer. Gladiolus.
All right. Where did that thing go? What is a called shot? Can I just do that?
So if you wanted to hit a specific thing, if you wanted to knock a weapon out of their hand or shoot an eyeball for some reason or stab a particular appendage, that would be that.
I don't think I have any ranged weapons. And I am small and frail. Can I wait?
Absolutely. What are you waiting for out of interest? Just the fight to be over?
Yeah, or if someone kind of comes charging down, like, I'm gonna just... I guess I'll
Just
pull up
wait.
my little stiletto and just have it ready for if anyone tries to, especially that woman tries to come by, just to... I got your ankles.
All right.
Pour some snake oil on the ground to slip them up.
Yeah, ankle shanker over here. Got the...
That stuff has a myriad of uses, doesn't it? It's really good. All right. Locke. You
Okay.
are up, as it were.
I have a question. So this doorway is in the alley.
Yes.
Is there a front entrance to this building?
There would be, yes.
Is this just a residential building or?
It is residential in style, yes.
Okay.
So it's like this would be the back entrance into sort of say flats or apartments, but dwellings above street level. So there is
Oh.
things at the front you could gain access to, and it also would go up the way as well.
All right. I have to check the combat page again, but how much can I talk on my turn?
As long as it's not a 2-hour sort of oration, I think we can give you a little bit of leniency.
All right. I'll try not to filibuster. And he says to Gladiolus, he's like, hold on. You think here's my thought. I know I'm not the plans guy, or at least I'm not the good plans guy, but here is a thought I had. What if we go in through the front, and then while they're distracting the big guy, we steal as much as we can get from the house, or maybe we could get the drop on the big guy? Who knows? I just know I don't want to be in front of the big guy. But maybe we could like sneak in.
I like the cut of your cloth.
That's good. So I think that's what he's going to try. Is he's going to like try to go to the front and like suss out if he can see anyone through a window or something.
All right. Do me a perception as you move around. I'm just trying to transfer. I don't want to transfer skills from another game. I think perception exists.
Yeah.
Does it?
It's one of my attributes. Am I just rolling?
It's a primary.
Hold on.
So you don't tend to roll against a primary attribute. You go against a skill, which is almost the same thing. It's just broken down more. So awareness would be the skill you would roll against.
Cool. I succeeded.
All right. As you sort of say this to Gladiolus and move back around the front and have a look in the window through the letterbox, because why not? You can see that there is one window on one side sort of leads into a private dwelling. The window on the other side leads into a separate private dwelling, and through the letterbox is a corridor which then goes all the way back to a T-junction, and you can see sort of light and shadow moving off to one side of that. And then there's a staircase sort of at that far end as well.
Okay. Was that? Oh, I have 3 action points.
You do.
I don't know what those are though. Does that mean I could also like either lockpick or if it's open, just open it?
I'm going to say yes. You haven't tried it, but as you do, it is locked. So to do that, you can give me a skullduggery. Duggery.
Okay. Cool. I succeed.
All right. So moving around, peek, check, click, click, pop, and the door sort of just it cracks an inch, letting you know that you can now gain access.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I can go in on this turn, but I will be going in whenever I can.
Most of your movement would have been to get out and
To
back
get here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought so.
So that's you. So Fitz, the big man with now a broken sword. Thanks, Kelly. He sort of looks across at you because of and down sort of because of his size. He's like, oh. And he reaches into his pocket and slides on a set of knuckle dusters, cracks his knuckles inside it, and he's just going to try and land a punch, like straight down.
It's fair.
So he gets...
I don't blame him.
I mean, you took away his sword. It's not very kind, is it?
He's just beating you to the punch.
And he fails. So as the sort of the knuckle dusters slide on, he cracks and he brings his arm around. He actually sort of scrapes down the wall in the hallway. Sparks flying off the knuckle dusters as he drags his hand down. And as that sort of drags and slows the movement down, he sort of sweeps down across in front of you. The draft off it is impressive. And he's like, oh. Back to you, Kelly.
Is that fury thing still on me? Or is that a one time?
For its next attack, so you wouldn't have it anymore.
Okay.
I would have to come and apply it to you again.
That's fine. I just want to make sure.
Go ahead, gotta reapply your
Get the
face
Urukai
paint.
face again,
Wait, pause. We need to reapply face paint. I'm going to try to wrestle him into a headlock.
Oh, nice.
Because evidently that's what they can do. So I'm going to put him in a chokehold. And I have to make an athletics check, and he must resist the athletics check or be choked.
Okay. So
Nope.
Okay.
These dice are going in dice jail. That's an 81.
I won't roll resist then, since you just kind of go up and hug him.
I'm assuming I would have had to succeed in order to do it. It's not like mine versus his.
I would have thought that you would have to succeed and then he would have to resist your succession.
Okay. That makes sense. I just wasn't sure.
It's all right. Make an athletics test. Must resist.
Well, that's 1 AP. How many APs did I spend?
Well, that was just the one for the chokehold.
You have
so
3.
2 more.
Mm-hmm.
If you so choose.
Mm-hmm. Well, then I just try to put him chokehold again.
Yeah, I'm going to say, why not? Your grip didn't go on the first time, so you're going to try again.
Hey, that's 16. That's a success.
Let's see if he resists. Because he has to do a... Foe must resist athletics. So does that mean I'm rolling athletics? Plus 20. So he rolled really well. So he's sort of fighting you off. The first time you just kind of put your arms out towards him. The second time he's like, so I think that technically leaves you with 1 point.
I'm going to.
Technically, looking at this, so he has steely fortitude. It's good when you read the whole way down the sheet. These creatures always succeed at resolve tests and cannot be intimidated, which hasn't really mattered too much because you've failed to intimidate him earlier.
I didn't fail.
Sorry, you were unfortunate not to succeed.
So he's not gonna be in a chokehold.
Not by you, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then I guess I will just. Where is it? What's just attacking? How many points is just attacking?
Like
I
one.
think it's just, yeah.
Oh, they're melee attack. Okay. I'll just attack him then. So I am so befuddled by the chokehold not working when it always works, because I crush things and that's what I do, and then I try to hit him and I miss miserably with a 72.
Ah, all right.
And I just look, what the heck? I'm so confused.
Having a strange moment in the corridor, the pair of you. He's completely missed trying to strike you. You've tried to cuddle him twice and then sort of flailed with your Morning Star to no effect.
Worst fight ever.
It's very dramatic. It's just very odd. So, Seth, you can see your compatriot party member sort of cuddling and then flailing or Morning Starring almost this ogre. And it is you to act.
This feels like watching six-year-olds fight. All right. I'm just gonna take out another dart in my pocket and just as I'm watching this unfold and be like, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna go ahead and throw another magic missile at him. And I do succeed, but not critically. Check and see. And I get a point on the chaos track.
Oh,
So
nice.
let's see.
Quick question. The chaos track, that just means you're more aligned towards your chaos alignment, or does that have other things that does?
So for the purpose of casting spells, because I'm a divine magic user, I get divine punishments. Because basically the idea is that my spell succeeded, but when I threw it, it wasn't my god that provided it to me. It was some demon or something else, and now the god's upset about it. And that's pretty much what's happening.
Oh.
First time you generate a chaos manifestation, you instead gain a minor punishment. Its effects are narratively appropriate to the god you worship, for instance, blah, blah, blah. So you decide.
I decide your punishment. Interesting. So I will have a think about that and come up with something appropriate. It will be narratively appropriate.
Sure.
Also,
Do you want me to roll damage first?
Yes, let's deal with that one.
Sure. I'll say it felt a little bit weird as it left my hand this time, but that's going to be 14 points of damage into fits.
Ooh.
It's like, no, God, I didn't mean it. I swear.
Right. So that is him shifted to be seriously wounded. So I need you to roll, I think it's another 1d6 to see if he takes a serious injury.
6.
All right, let's roll up an injury for this particular unfortunate soul. Let's determine. Okay, determine injury. When an injury occurs, gain 3. So where am I going? D6 on a cast die is 6. Suffer a moderate injury. And yeah, so serious injury is 2d6, so he has a greater opportunity. So if you hadn't rolled it again, I would have got you roll a second one. Injuries on this chart.
Oh, and just for reference for the future, we can only do one melee or missile attack per round.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, it's okay. I just noticed that when I was reading through the thing.
Right. Come on, injuries. There's like tables and tables of D100 injuries that are thematically appropriate. And yet, there we go. I've got a whole chart of it right here. Serious injury. Can you roll a D100 for me,
Sure.
Seth, since you applied this injury?
30.
30. So your magic missile has caused poor Fitz to have a fractured larynx. Until successfully recuperated, he must succeed a scrutinized test to speak. So he's like, oh. So that's not very nice. So I will put that there.
You had your chance, Fitz.
Larynx. So mean as a group. So mean. So that injury stays with him because it's not going anywhere. As he sort of recoils in front of you, Kelly, sort of grasping at his neck. The knuckle dusters you can see have been scuffed up by the wall as he sort of grabs to his neck in panic. Are you doing anything else, Seth?
I'll just kind of put my hand up to my mouth and be like, right, Kelly, this shouldn't be that difficult. Finish him, please.
He looks pretty bad. When I say
I
pretty
feel-
bad, it looks very bad.
I feel called out.
Totally seen. Gladiolus.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
I guess I'd love to follow good old friend Locke around to the front of the building. I think that might take me running though and using all 3 of my action points because if I do recall, my
If I-
movement
Well,
is
how far down the alley did you actually go? Did you go as far as Kelly and Seth?
no, I think I would have just stayed right by the entrance of the alley.
So we'll say it takes one of your movement to get to where Locke is, just by the doorway.
All right.
Didn't Gladiolus hold a turn, but then never got it whenever she had something else to do?
Yeah, she was waiting for something to emerge into the alley.
To run out.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you can maneuver yourself around to the doorway next to Locke as you wish, if you wish.
Yes, I would love to do that. And do I have enough movement to get into the?
If you want to spend your action points to move in, then yes.
Yeah, I'd love to move in quietly into this space.
Do me a stealth roll then.
Do I get advantage for being small? Still. I got a 24 and my stealth is a 49.
Nice. All right. So moving at pace around to Locke's position and then maybe up on the balls of your feet, just sort of easing your step as you move in past. Graceful, quietly. You move into the corridor. You can hear what sounds almost like a choke or a desperation for breath, kind of down and round the corner beyond. And some sort of jibe coming from Seth's voice that sort of echoes down the corridor towards you and where you are, Locke. I believe that's all of your movement.
I think that's pretty much everything I'd want to do.
All right. So as the scene unfolds in front, Locke, your compatriot, has stepped across the threshold ahead of you, and it is you to act.
Great. All right, I guess he's gonna move inside then. And can he get like a good read on this place? Like you said that there was like a residential to the left and right. There was some kind of doors inside.
Yeah. So there's sort of
what did you say?
a single
Okay.
front door that you picked open, and then a door entering a small dwelling to one side, a doorway to a small entering the other side, so left and right, and then the corridor goes down to the end, and you can hear your friends round the corner to what would be the back door, effectively.
Did you just put friends in quotation marks?
I did. Only one side, though.
So we're partially sarcastic friends.
Okay. I think can I I guess he's gonna talk to Gladdy again and just be like, so do you think we should sneak up behind that guy? He doesn't sound like he's doing too hot. Or should we look around for things to steal? Is there you got an idea about that, Gladdy? Is there a preference?
No, not much of a stealer. I'm more fleece people for their money. So, whatever ideas you got.
Other ideas? Well, Here, how about I look for things, and I can look for. I'll make sure to keep a special eye out for anything that you can put in your snake oil.
Oh yeah, maybe I can sell it as a enhanced snake oil.
Okay, he's gonna go look for things for, I guess, enhanced snake oil, but also other things. So what would he?
So to gain access to either the left doorway or the right doorway, you'd have to do little bit more skullduggery to get the doors open.
All right, I do feel a little bad. I'm not sure if this belongs to bad people, but I'm going to pick the lock on the left one or try.
Alright.
We'll see.
Hello, are you a bad guy? Oh, okay, bye.
B&E.
Okay, I succeeded.
All right. So moving down a little bit and just into the doorway on that left hand side. Again, quick with the skills and the picks and the sort of the time to ease the latch round, and again you hear that very satisfying sort of as the lock lifts and retracts, allowing you to gain entry as you wish, if you wish.
I do wish.
I do. You do.
Mhm.
Cracking the door slightly, because we'll stay with you for a couple of seconds longer. Cracking the door slightly, you can see this is a very modest is being exceptionally kind. Exceptionally kind. It is sort of bare walls. There are limited furniture, sort of cots for beds, what looked like they could be stuffed with sort of hay or straw or something to give them a little bit of give. There is no real sort of nightstand or anything like that to speak of, and the cooking arrangement seems to be sort of a very basic sort of stove pot set up in the middle that would just be left to run with a window open to allow some form of air circulation.
Oh, so there's not like a fun pile of cool stuff in here, like as if someone has been running a successul con. This is
Not
just a sad house.
Not in this particular dwelling.
Okay. All right. So I'm my class is burger. So do I have any like currency on me?
Yes, you will have, I think it's a couple of silver.
Yeah, it was like 2d10
Silver.
plus 2 silver.
Yeah.
Silver shillings.
Having silver like a peasant.
Yeah,
The
I guess
exchange rate is ridiculous in this game.
Yeah, you would know that down here around the town square is very much the lowborn. They will leave from here and go to the fields. They'll go out to other sort of workhouses and things like that provide for the town and exterior trade, whether it be fisheries up or down river, whatever. This is lowborn. What you want, if you're interested in coin, is a bit further up the hill towards the manor house.
Oh, for sure. We just weren't sure if these people were actually successful in their con or if this is their house. But since I'm presuming this is not their house, can I leave like 2 silver on like some surface and just
Absolutely.
back out of this? Okay.
All
Like
right.
Santa Claus.
You're gonna be broke by the time you get to the end of the hallway.
Right.
Right. So money deposited. Door comes swinging shut. We go back round the corridor. Fitz, because I'm just going to use his name now. And you can see the tension as he grips the knuckle dusters tighter. And again, just now trying to look at you in panic, even though it wasn't you that hit him in the neck. He is now panicked to a certain extent, struggling to sort of, well, he couldn't really form a sentence beforehand, but put words into any kind of construct. And again, he's just going to now not try and strike, but more of a flail of the arm with the knuckle duster on as he tries to throw a punch at you, Kelly. What? Well, you're the only one in range and target.
Makes no sense.
It's very rude of Fitz.
It's so rude.
Yeah.
I did nothing wrong.
Maternal figure clearly did not teach him.
Okay.
manners.
So.
I just realized that I don't have, like, I need to save AP in order to do reactions. So I can't react to this if he does succeed.
You can parry it.
I don't have any action points left. I spent 3 action points. So I'm assuming I would need I would need at least 1 to parry.
Yeah, it says that in the thing. If
Yeah.
you want to keep 1 in reserve for parrying, dodging, or in my case, counter spells.
Mhm.
There you go. Or you can potentially spend like a fate or fortune point, but he succeeds in colliding with you as the arm now less targeted and more just kind of thrown out with as much force as he can sort of muster, trying to draw breath through this sort of crushed larynx, and hits you pretty cleanly. And since you can't defend it, you take 10 damage.
I don't know where I put that. Oh, I have a damage threshold. Is that where that goes?
Does it exceed it?
8 is my lowest number.
So it goes. So it's above your damage threshold. So you move down the damage condition. So you are technically lightly wounded, if my understanding is correct.
Yes, I can't type on here.
So I will make a note of that as well. Not on lightly damaged. When you get to moderately wounded, lightly wounded. When you get to moderately wounded, that's when we start rolling for injuries, and that's where it starts getting out of hand.
Okay, I just say, is that all you got? I've been punched harder by the bartender.
This does not surprise me. So he collides with you, and you feel the impact sort of maybe rock a little bit on your heels as you sort of ground yourself again against this impact. But it is you to go, Kelly. You have the impetus.
Well, intimidation didn't work.
It did not.
Crushing didn't, or wrestling didn't work. Crushing probably wouldn't work. So the only thing that's worked is me hitting with my weapon. So I'm just gonna do that again.
Go face.
I rolled a 1
Which
on a D100.
Does this game have the crit roll for that too?
It does. I believe that's a crit success.
Cool.
It's going to take me too long to find it. So I'm pretty sure it is. I think if you roll... Let's double check. I don't want to lie to you. If anyone in chat can answer it quicker. Crit success. Crit failure. Doesn't actually tell me what that is. That's helpful. Make
The cheat sheet only says doubles.
Yes. And the rules I'm looking at don't help. chance, base chance.
I think the 1 in 100 thing might be a Call of Cthulhu thing, so I don't know if that's the
I mean-
same in this game.
It's definitely in it because I've looked at it and gone, all right, yeah, I need to make sure I remember that. And now can't. Pair of stunts, cool shots, multiple attacks. You shouldn't technically get them. Leap, jump, movement. Effects, turns. Where's it gone? Fury dice, terminology, combat. That's not helpful. Must be in here somewhere. Apologies.
You're fine.
Critical success and failure. There we go. So critical success, if you succeed and your dice match, you incur. Well, failed tests.
Looks like it is correct. If the result is a 1, it always counts as a critical success. If it counts as if it's 100, it always counts as a critical failure.
Yeah, because it's the very lowest you can possibly achieve against the very highest you really shouldn't. So there you go, critical success.
Hooray!
Hooray.
So 2d6 again, plus my brawn. So that will be 10 total.
Ooh.
And I have vicious, which I have to roll a chaos die. Hold on. Trying. Weapons of this quality grant an additional 1d6 chaos die to determine whether you inflict an injury upon the foe. In the powerful thing, immediately after striking an engaged foe, weapons of this quality force a foe to resist with toughness or be shoved. But you said he would resist either way.
He will succeed at resolve tests, not resist. So they are different.
Well, I did not roll a 6 on my chaos die. So the powerful thing, he has to resist with toughness or be shoved out of the engagement.
Okay, so he gets plus 20 a shove. Sorry, plus 20 toughness.
Which I should have looked that up earlier, but whatever.
It's all good. We're all learning together.
And learning is half the battle.
That's it.
We're
As long as it sounds good, we'll just roll with that.
together.
I rolled a 2, so he succeeds.
Okay. Is he still up?
Just about.
Is he wearing armor?
He has a sort of basic set of armor on, yeah.
Well, it's ruined now.
So that's weapon and armor. You're tearing through this. Because you did damage, and he's moved to the grievously wounded with all this pummeling you're giving him, can you roll 3d6 to see if he gets another injury, please?
3, 5, and 6.
So he gets a 6. So can you roll me a d100? And we'll find out what that injury is.
84.
84.
Yep.
He gets a splintered elbow. That sounds horrendous. Until fully recuperated, you cannot use one of your arms as it is in pain. Probably the one with the knuckle duster on it, I would suggest.
The spike ball hits the funny bone, and it's not very funny.
You must undergo surgery or suffer the consequences. Once a splintered elbow has undergone a failed surgery, you can no longer use two-handed ranged weapons.
Shit.
Wow. So,
That's
ouch.
brutal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad that didn't hit me.
And there's no mystical healing in this game either. It's all just surgery and bandages and things like that. So, yeah.
Surgery by questionable practitioners. He's hurting. Oh, sorry.
And then I'm just gonna say, give us your stuff, and we won't kill you.
All right. This challenge echoes out of the doorway to where you are, Seth. You hear a rather loud wincing sound and what could be the crack of a bone. It might just be metal on another solid surface, though.
Nuts
Alright.
bone.
I guess I'll walk closer. Has he given any sort of indication that he is giving up?
You can, even from where you are looking sort of past Kelly, there is a fear that now seems to be sort of ingrained onto the expression. Not only is there physical pain, there is a doubt creeping in the eyes.
Do I kill him?
He's just a little boy.
I mean, he's an ogre. You know what? I'm just gonna attempt to walk past him.
All right. As you sort of go to push past him, he tries to put himself in the way, but as he sort of starts to move, there's like a wheeze with the intake of breath, and then the sort of a crippling squeal almost as air struggles to escape as he's kind of as he tries to impose himself between you and the hallway beyond, but you are able to, well, roll. Do an athletics. Roll me an athletics.
I fail.
I failed. His bulk is just enough to sort of block enough of the path to stop you just easing your way past. You are sort of side by side with Kelly almost in this sort of reasonably, it feels narrow because there's an ogre that fills it, but sort of narrow corridor. But he doesn't look like he'll be able to resist for long.
Kelly wants to keep him alive, right?
I said if he gives us all the stuff, I won't kill him.
All right, I'm gonna pull out my rapier and put it to his neck, and then yell back into the building, be like, "Right, Jillian, or whatever your name actually is, we have your, I assume, Fitz here on the ground. If you don't want me to kill him, I suggest you come out now."
Roll. It's not persuasion. It is, but it isn't.
Intimidation?
No. The convince. So, charm.
Sure, that could be charming.
Let's try charm or bargain.
Right.
Bargain.
Bargain.
Bribery, courtly intrigue, diplomacy. Haggle. A bargain or charm. I'll let you decide.
They're the same for me. So
Then we'll go with that.
Success, critical success.
Ooh.
Hey,
Nice.
come get your son.
Whose man's is this?
You were looking for him so hard. Be ashamed if he just
Uh,
died.
You hear a voice sort of come down the stairs. Fuck. I'll be down in a minute. And then
Bring your shit.
Did we inconvenience? Did she get in the shower? Did she not hear any of this?
she probably trusts Fitz to deal with things more often than not.
Probably just assume Fitz just pulverized whoever it was.
True.
Generally. So while we wait and you sort of start to hear footsteps on the floor above you heading towards the stairwell, we will go to Gladiolus as we wait.
So I'm in this T-junction? Is that...
Effectively, you're from the front door heading in, and they are in the T-junction with the stairs sort of there at the end. Locke has gone into a door on the left-hand side and tossed in some silver and pulled it to again. You are sort of just on the balls of your feet, nimble and quiet.
Can I pour some of my snake oil on the bottom steps and then just wait with my stiletto?
Sure.
Not like visible from the steps, but like just like duck around Pour some oil.
Do me a. We'll say it's easy enough to empty a bottle of snake oil out, but do me a stealth to make sure you are out of eye line of anyone descending from above.
It's gonna be like when the last step doesn't look like a step and it just blends in with the floor.
That was not a success. That was a 73.
Wow. So you sort of glug the bottle out and it sort of coats the step, and then you're like, you think you're hidden.
Ow!
Everyone bar Fitz, who's very much distracted by other things, can see you as far as you're aware. Well, not that you're aware, but they are.
Just under your breath, I'm fucking invisible.
No one's gonna see me. Camouflaged. Yeah.
And you're standing right next to somebody.
You can't see me. If I can't see you, you can't see me. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know if I can do anything else. Right?
I don't think that's moving in an action.
Yeah,
If you want to save anything in case it all goes pear-shaped.
Yeah, I guess save a reaction, perhaps.
All right. So, Locke, as you sort of emerge from this left-hand door, having deposited a small amount of silver, you look to the end of the corridor and quite clearly spot Gladiolus giggling to themselves, and the horrible sort of wheezing still coming from around the corridor. You would have heard the female voice echo down the stairs as well.
So he'd know he would know the score, basically.
Yes.
Like he would have heard them say, "Hey, come here if you don't want this guy to die." Yeah. Okay. I think then he's going to just hold until Gillen comes down the stairs. So he's going to just wait with Gladiolus.
Who thinks she's hidden?
Who thinks she's
Are you gonna actually hide?
Yeah. Does she look like she's trying to hide?
She looks like she's trying to hide. Yes.
I guess I'll try to hide with her.
Like Kronk in Emperor's New Groove, where you just go up against the wall.
Stealth, please, Locke.
I am the knight.
Stealth, please.
Of course.
I am the shadow.
Oh. This is probably 10. Hold on. Right? No, or is it 100?
It's either a 10 or a 1.
Is it 100 or is it 0?
It's 000.
That's 100.
Shit. We're both not.
We're both just like.
So,
critical fail.
The pinnacle of stealth.
This is like this against the wall. And you're like, what are you doing? What are you? Sort of come over and make a load of noise. Stood there pointing. What are you doing?
The wall is orange or some color, and you're just there in your dark clothing.
And you're like, you have to hide like this.
Not before. All right, with Fitz in extreme pain and Gillen yet to sort of descend the stairwell, you can see him sort of, his weapon is ruined. It's cast to one side. The knuckle dusters are scuffed to pieces where he scraped across the wall that first time, and even impacting you, Kelly, it's only deteriorated them a little bit. And his armor has been deteriorated. Even so, he was trying to draw breath. He's starting to undo this damaged armor, trying to use his other arm. He's like that. He starts using the only good arm he's got, undoing the sides, and you can see him sort of trying to shuffle out, and he kind of looks at you pitifully as though to say, can you lift it off? He can't speak clearly, but he's like, as this sort of Hulk looks rather pathetic on the floor.
Well, the armor's, when you ruin it, is it ruined for good? Like,
You would have to take it to a blacksmith to get it appraised, possibly reforged or refixed.
I'll just say
So-
I don't want your armor. I just want the stuff you stole from people.
And he sort of comprehends what you're saying, and he kind of twists. He's like,
Yes.
and at this point, you do hear the footsteps start to sort of bounce down the stairs, and it's deceptively buoyant and joyful. Yeah, something like that, Gladios.
I'll just like point and be like, "You want to sit down?"
And he kind of collapses against the wall. As he does, his elbow hits it, and he's like,
I feel bad.
Shouldn't steal from innocent people.
as Gillian comes bimbling down, and as she sort of gets to the rail, she kind of leans over and she's like, "What are you two doing?"
Well,
And as she comes down, oddly enough, your distraction works to make her not concentrate on the bottom step. It kind of works in your favor, but not. But she knows you're there, but now she's like, "Doing?" And she'll come she'll come down. I'll make this more difficult because she's distracted. She is able to, so one foot goes down and you can see it start to slip, but she's got enough wherewithal to sort of reach out and grab the railing that goes up. So, and as she clamps her hand on that, the dagger in the other hand slides out of her grip and sort of skids down into the hallway. So while she hasn't fallen over, she has lost enough sort of stability that she is now unarmed effectively. She's like,
can I kick,
"Go on."
kick her ankle?
So violent. I tell you what, why not? Give it a go.
All right, simple melee. Just gonna. Nope.
Nope.
Wait. 0 is 100, isn't it?
0, 0, 0. So 3 zeros is 100. And so if you have 0, 0 and then a single digit, then it would just be that single digit.
Oh. 2.
Nice. Good back on that. So as she gets to the bottom step, a dagger one way, sort of hand grip in the other, you sort of take out the standing leg and she drops onto her backside and gives out a bit of a yelp as she lands sort of rear end first onto the last couple of steps and kind of bounces. She's like, "Ah! Ow!"
You should have bought some of my snake oil. Its many properties include disarming people.
Well, I may have
Clinically
to
proven.
Yeah. I may have to make a purchase in the future, dear. I see you found my boy Fitz.
I'll just turn to her and be like, "Quite. Now, as for the items that I'm sure you've been apprehending from people."
Well, why don't we make an arrangement? You know, we're not here to do any harm. We're just simple trade folk. I'd simply lost my boy Fitz, and you helped me find him.
What's that insight check that's not insight check?
I
That
mean-
would be.
Pretty sure it's obvious that they're lying.
I mean, it is blatantly obvious. There's no sort of check required in that respect. But she is trying to, the way she sort of holds herself and puts herself across is not the panicked lady sort of parent that came across to you in the market square. Very much more sort of stern and yet lithe at the same time. There seems to be a rhythm to how she moves. And she's like, "We can merely share a little bit. That wouldn't be such a bad outcome for either party, would it? I have to pay
Yeah.
for surgery for dear Fitz over there. after you've roughed him up some and his equipment. Who pays for this now?
I'm
You do.
sure.
I'm gonna
quite.
put the rapier away and walk up to her. I'm like, and kind of get down to her level and be like, "Ma'am, you seem to be missing something. You were going to rob us. I don't think we're in any sort of position to give you much of anything now, are we?"
That, I think, would be a lovely intimidate.
Sure.
Can I just help with that by like physical prowess behind and just like standing there and looking scary?
Roll a, because I vaguely remember, roll a tens dice, and if yours is better than, or gives a better outcome than Seth's, then Seth, you can use that new number.
Well, I rolled a 10.
I rolled a 15, so I also rolled a 10.
Well, there you go. So,
Double success.
that's it. So, with the two of you acting as sort of this intimidatory force, she sort of looks up, or looks
Killing
at the pair of you. I was going to say,
Killing
looks down at one, up at the other. It's kind of an odd kind of neck thing that's going on, and kind of
Way 60 because they're confused. They don't know where to look.
that's it, completely caught out. You can see definitely Locke and Gladiolus. The foot kind of slides to the rear as though to stabilize herself, and she instinctively starts to reach for the dagger that is no longer there, and then
I
kind
just
of
lift it up off the floor.
the hand kind of goes back. She sees you have it, and then the hand kind of releases. Shall we? And she sort of invites you up the stairs.
I feel like this is a trap.
Well,
Again.
we are aware of one. I don't think she's a criminal mastermind where she's leading us into her evil lair. We could probably pursue with relative safety. Or maybe she is. Maybe she's the big bad of this entire story.
That was the trick.
It was a ruse.
It's all a ruse.
I'll go
Actually,
upstairs.
that missing cat.
That would have been the next event. No. So, are you all ascending the stairwell?
Yeah.
Again, nods and agreements. So, minding the bottom step, which is oddly and suspiciously slippery. Strange.
Someone should clean that up.
Someone should really mop that up, shouldn't they? That's a hazard right there. You need to watch your step on the way down. You ascend the stairwell up to the first floor, and it has a similar layout to this next floor up. And it has a similar layout, has a dwelling on one side, dwelling on the other, and then it has access at the end of the corridor where the alley was on one side. You can gain access to the roof or a sort of terraced area out the back. And she takes you along the corridor, and you take what would be the right-hand door as you look along the corridor. And opening up, you can see again the beds, the cots. There is one cot with sort of rather sort of average looking modest bedding, and then there's sort of a stack of bedding on the floor, which is clearly big enough to allow the frame of a larger individual to gain sleep out to one side. But in the corner and pushed into sort of an odd stack, there's a couple of small barrels, there's a couple of small chests, and just sort of hanging out as though rushed to be stored, there seems to be cloth, there seems to be the odd sort of glimmer of silver and gold just sort of dancing in the gaps between these sort of storage items. And you can see a few other bits and pieces that were less hurriedly put away. There's similar in the way her brooch is sort of a bronze. There seems to be a silver brooch of a more detailed and elegant design, just kind of pushed towards the pillow in the bed, or cot as it is. And she says, we're just we're just humble people, traders almost, if you will. And we
shut up.
Can I kick something to like make it spill out all the gubbins?
Yeah, absolutely. You can walk over and kick or tilt them. And as the sort of content sort of spills out, she just kind of puts her hands on her hips and sort of sighs with resignation, like, all right. And what spills out there is various denominations of coin, sort of silver, some gold.
I grab as many gold pieces as I can so I can have more than gladiolus.
I'm just like
Scooping it up.
Instantly
gold,
ascending
gold,
class.
gold, 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 gold.
Yeah.
You seem to make quite the living for yourselves, you and your little boy.
We have done well, and we have to pay our masters, and I do actually work in the taverns. That was not a fallacy. It's just this is the easier and quicker way to make money off of those up in the manor in the upper town. Bring them down, help them find my poor lost boy, and then we just alleviate them. Nobody gets killed. We don't kill them. How else would we repeat the stunt? So,
Well, how would you repeat the stunt? People aren't going to be stupid enough to find your lost boy Fitz again.
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Some people have too much pride to admit they are wrong. So while we may not trap the same one twice, their friends are always easy marks.
Interesting.
Anyway, I have shown you what I have, and you have what you may.
And is
Takes
this
everything.
all of your spoils?
This is all we have here, yes.
And where else do you keep your spoils?
Have you been to Weisheim, dear? You seem well spoken, maybe well travelled.
Have I been to Weisheim?
Potentially in your travels, I can't imagine someone such as yourself would have stayed here in Ulstberg for an extended period. So, yeah, you would have been. It's a similar setup, sort of tiered social structure. So you'd fit in everywhere, especially with your unique talents to fit in everywhere.
Well, of course I have.
Well, maybe we can work together in Weisheim if you allow me and my boy Fitz to make a quiet exit from town.
So you can pay your masters?
Everyone needs paying, dear. I'm sure you know that.
Perhaps.
I would probably scoop up enough silver that I think is enough for surgery that I don't know how much it costs and go, here's for the surgery, and then collect everything else.
All right. Taking everything will make you severely encumbered. Like, it's going to slow you down significantly. I think there's chests, barrels, various bolts of cloth.
There's no
Oh,
bags
yes,
of holding.
there is not, as far as I'm
Uh-huh.
aware.
Do you own this place? Gillian? Jillian? Is that really your name?
It's Gillen, dear,
Gillen.
and we rent it. Well, we've acquired it through extortionate payment, but that's just the way society works. So we pay for this safe house, and we pay for our skills, should we say?
Yeah.
I wanna,
Locke's not going to take anything, by the way. Locke isn't going to touch this. The moment he heard that they were just stealing from uptown, he's not going to touch any of it because he appreciates the hustle and doesn't feel good about what's just happened.
Gladiolus is taking that money because she appreciates the hustle and she's just hustled them.
No honor among thieves.
Indeed.
It's fair.
I'm going to look around. I don't really care much for the money. I'm going to look around the room to see if there's anything that, by my particular profession, would pique my interest, I guess, given my god.
Considering you are looking beyond the riches, as it were, for things more specific, let's do a. Which one of these is it?
Which one did I?
Maybe either a trade craft, or because that covers a lot of things. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Or that. Or that. See, there's a lot of options on here, just not sure which one fits the bill.
Well, I know I can't do trade
or-
craft. 'Cause
or
that's a
aware-
special skill. What's that?
Or awareness.
We'll do awareness because I can actually do that one. Pass, not critically though.
So, having a look around, you do find a few items that sort of pique the interest. A few small bits, nothing too elaborate or special in their own right, but you're able to sort of pick a few out, and I'll get that stuff to you in a moment. In amongst all the rest of this stuff, it's like they'd come across it happenstance. Someone seemed to have been carrying it with them, and they've just thrown it into a corner, and it's been piled on with all the other stuff they actually care about. So you're able to find a few bits of interest for you.
Okay.
I just want as much gold as possible, and if there's anything super shiny.
All right. Roll me 1d10 and 1d6.
6 on the D10 and 1 on the D6.
All right. So you find there's about 20. I'm not sure why I got your roll because I was just making it up anyway. There's about 20 bits of gold that you spot before the others do, which is a significant amount considering most people sort of have one or two. But they've managed to sort of accrue it over unsure how much in time. And then there is a few more of these brooches. They seem to sort of target those, and there is a sort of well-formed pipe that's been carved, but it's not. It's like a silver almost, whether it's silver sort of coating or if it's actually made from silver. It's a bit hard to discern without trying to smoke it or from it.
I take the gold in the pipe. And at some
Nice.
point, I'm getting tobacco and smoking the shit out of this thing.
Nice. So Locke's taking nothing. Gladiolus and Kelly, you have got some gold, and Seth, you have found things tied to your particular skills.
What are the brooches? To broach this topic a little bit.
To broach the topic, yes. They are well crafted pins. Some have sort of it's almost like a bird's tail design. Seem to be sort of crafted and stamped with maker's marks. So somewhere in town, again, probably in towards the upper part of the settlement, will have crafted these beautifully made. So one looks a bit like a swan almost. One has more of almost like a peacock kind of sort of shape to it. Another one just seems to be almost like a series of musical notes that are interlinked, the way the metal has been twisted and turned and joined, like a treble clef and various other notes I'm not going to name, fear of embarrassing myself.
Half note, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note.
Crotchet, demi this and all that triple and all that sort of good stuff. There are many shapes, forms, notes, and all the rest of it. So, but that's the style, the way it sort of curves and sweeps around.
What are these brooches here, friend?
Well, they just happen to fall off when good ladies of the town would come by us. Fitz was nice enough to pick them off the floor for me, and I tried to return them. Sort of. And we just kept them here for safekeeping. It's no issue, really.
And they
Please,
have
miss, no, stop. Oh, no.
Oh no, come back. Oh damn.
No.
They don't have any special meaning, do they?
I mean, maybe to the ladies who lost them. Maybe we should try and sell them back and see if any of them need a brooch or a fine gift. We were possibly going to sell them in the markets as we travelled, but
Do I recognize these? These aren't like crests of like families, are they?
these aren't crests of families. You would be able to sort of spot them, but they are probably well made for specific families. You would have to take them to a jeweler to ascertain their.
I'd love to collect all the brooches that I can.
So you can see the frustration now as you guys are sort of picking through everything, sort of. And she's like, "Come on, just get out."
Is there
Come on.
anything she's like looking anywhere, like glancing at specifically?
Do do an can you eavesdrop for me?
Yes, I would love to eavesdrop. Hoo-hoo. That's a 4.
4, nice. Every time she's tapping her feet or tapping her foot and sort of scanning the room and looks to Seth and then to Kelly and then Locke, you had just kind of stood off to one side because you're appreciating the art of the con, as it were. And as you're watching Gladiolus, there seems to be just an almost infinitesimally small pause as she looks towards sort of the middle of the bed. It appears like it's depressed and slept in and sort of used, and everything else is in the corner, all the gold
Yeah.
that Kelly's collecting and everything else. But just as the head sort of scans the room, trying to appear nonchalant, there's just that pause, and it's quicker than that, but you've
Yeah.
seen it, it's like, I found my mark, or I know my mark. And the head will scan back, but it won't take the same path. And then subconsciously, almost, she'll just come back across.
Love to go over to where she's looking and rummage around.
All right, do me. It's not investigation because that's a completely different system. Gotta get used to
It
these.
explodes.
It explodes. Boom.
Bosh.
Should have added that in.
Everybody dies. Except
Adventure
for except for Locke, because Locke is far
Where's
enough
Rolf
away.
coming?
What do I need
is it?
from?
I'm just trying to double check. Code. Do me a coordination.
Yes, I've dropped one of my D10s, so I will use my other
Nice.
set of D10s.
Dice out.
You said coordination? Oh! 48 when my percent is a 49. Just under!
Nice.
Oh, she's gone.
Where'd you go?
That's a
Shoot.
stealth roll, by the way. That's a stealth roll.
My dice made a stealth roll.
As you go over to the cot and sort of start to have a look at it, you can feel eyes now her eyes almost burning into the back of your head. And as you sort of feel the bed, like, well, that feels like a cot. And it's not until you sort of grip the frame and there's an edge that feels smooth. It's jagged and yet smooth, whereas the rest of the cot is sort of a wooden construction. This feels sort of like a gem or a smoother stone, precious potentially in its sort of cutting as you sort of touch the inside frame. So there's the bedding set on top that it's been slept in, and as you sort of grip the frame, you just feel it under your fingers, this sensation, this shape. As you extract it, you see that, and not everything explodes. Well, except Fritz's elbow. Ow. As you extract this sort of red, precious gem, and it catches the light, the light coming in from the window hits it as you sort of lift it and hold it up, and the corner of that room is sort of bathed ever so slightly in this red glow. And her face it goes from intense watching to in almost a searing frustration. She's like, You can leave now.
And what is this lovely piece right here? Who did you find this fall out the pocket from?
Well, since you seem to be skilled, the manor house was particularly kind to hold a ball, and so I invited myself along.
Need to go.
2 hours ago, yes, it was where you needed to go.
Well, I will take that down.
Looking at it, does it hold any particular significance to me when I'm looking at it
As you
through my specific eye?
do me a...
It's a shiny.
It's a shiny, but there is more to it. I will say that. Potentially folklore.
Okay.
Yeah, folklore.
Pass.
As Gladiolus holds it up and everyone else just sees this sort of the bathing of the red glow, you see a strange sort of absence of light, a shadow cast, and it's a sort of triangular shape that just kind of holds on the wall just for a moment while Gladiolus holds it up, and it just kind of sits there for a second with what seems to be sort of the most delicate inscription in its sort of shape. And as Gladys revels in it, in this sort of find, and whips it away and conceals it, that image just sort of hangs in the mind for a moment.
Okay. Do I know anything about it, or is it just stuck in my head? Like I've seen it before, but I don't know where from.
You would. So, what's your trade and background? Remind us.
I am a cultist.
So, I would say I'd make it an easy check, but I'd like to think that you would probably have a broader knowledge. So, you would know this is one of the outsiders sort of designs, a glyph based on that particular religious sect or cult. Is a bit sort of wavy as to quite where they fall in sort of the faith circles, as it were, but very much not of your own, and you would be able to identify it as such.
Gotcha. All right, I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. This lady doesn't need to know what she actually has.
All right. Are you doing anything else within this room while she seethes and stresses?
Anything else you'd like to share?
I'd like to show you the door. Now you have taken your fill.
Anywhere else she glances?
No. She now bears eyes on you and just watches you, Gladiolus.
Well, I'll leave you a free sample of this sniggle here. It's good for baldness, for injuries, and for disarming individuals.
Thank you, dear.
You're
she will take it
welcome,
from
love. Just leave.
Kelly and Locke, what are you up to?
I guess if everyone's leaving now, Locke will just be leaving. Like I said, he's not taking anything. So
Okay. All right. So you leave, Kelly?
After I gather up all my gold, I am going to go, bye, sorry about the elbow, and then walk downstairs.
All
And
right.
then say, bye, sorry about the elbow to you too, Fitz.
He's leant up against the wall.
I didn't do the throat thing though. That's not my fault, so I'm not gonna apologize for that. But bye. Just run out the door.
All right.
I will follow suit. But then when I get to Fitz, are the darts? So I know I have to have a point for my manifestation of whatever I do. Are the darts still visible, or have they kind of embedded themselves in him and are not recoverable?
One is sort of causing the crushing of the larynx. The other one you're able to sort of locate easily enough and pick up.
All right, I'm gonna kind of rip it out of him, and then just nod and keep brush it or tear off a piece of his clothing too, and wipe it off as I'm walking out.
All right. Emerging as a group, slowly one by one, back out of them. I'm guessing you're using the main door of this this house rather than the alleyway. All right. As you head back out into the town square, you do hear the sound of footsteps coming down the stairwell behind you, and they sort of track off towards the location of Fitz. And as you emerge back into the town square, people are still going about their lives. There's still trade. There's the town crier ringing out, giving sort of passing on various news. You can see revelers and traders moving around the place. The manor still looms large at the top of this relatively short hill, but it's sat upon a higher position to look down onto the town of Augsburg itself. And so you are out in the grayish overcast skies.
I think now might be a good time to take like a 5-minute break
All right,
for like restrooms and stuff.
sounds good.
So we will be back in 5 minutes, everybody. Go get drinks. Be right back. As yeah. And we are back. Thank you so much to Cobalt Press for the raid. That was awesome. Super appreciate it. Sorry you got us on like just the moment we were stepping away. So we can continue.
All right. So as you guys emerge out of this dwelling, this multi-layered dwelling, out into the town square, the grey skies overhead sort of add a sense of gloom. And even though the town, this sort of market area is alive with the sound of trade and sort of the town crier and various other sort of just general hubbub, the rest of the town, the area sort of looms kind of large above as you look up towards the manor house and the Waldorf Manor and the sort of middle class, almost the burger row of riches that sort of have the nicely painted houses, the larger appointed houses. And
Hey, I see my house from here.
I can see my house from here. And all the finer workshops beyond the taverns and things down on this sort of area of the settlement. So what would you like to do?
So our whole point to go to the manor was to
get that job.
Right. Okay. So we should probably just go up to the front door. And
The group requested to escort Lord of the Manor for
right.
special tradition.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna kind of lean down to Gladiolus and be like, "Let's not mention that we have the stone, okay?"
What stone?
Great. I'll stand back up.
All right.
I was very tempted to suddenly say, the stone you just
Oh, that one? All right. So, are you heading up the hill, as it were?
Sure. Heading towards
It's
the
entirely
manor.
down to you. It's entirely down to you.
To the manor.
To the manor born. Oh no, that was something else entirely different. All right. So as you sort of move up through and start the incline and ascension towards sort of out from this market square, the smells of meat and fish and alcohol and sweat and grime and sewer and sewerage, so it kind of starts to be left behind as you sort of move up and away. People have plants and there's smell of the odd scented perfume and incense that kind of invades your senses, those of this sort of social standing. Greater understand that smells can greatly put off a nice party between the houses and therefore should be eliminated as best as possible. And as you sort of ascend through the dwellings, you can hear fine tradescraft. There is the sound of a blacksmith's, but it will be for bespoke items rather than just arms and armor in general. Moving on up and getting clear now of the sort of the houses behind and towards this sort of plateau at the top is the sort of the walled encampment that surrounds a large manor house. You can see is even just over the wall with a separate sort of outhouse to one side and the track that leads up to sort of two wrought iron gates that stand closed but have a person stood close by in attendance.
Do I see Echo Shop on the way up? We don't have to make a big deal about it, but I just want to go in and get some.
We can say that you made a minor detour, knowing the various places. I'm sure those of you that might frequent such an establishment would guide you there.
I buy whatever 1 gold can get me.
Probably an entire barrel.
I buy more expensive things that is not as big, so I can carry it.
just carry a big barrel up the hill,
Of
just,
tobacco.
like, just jamming it into the pipe.
I don't have a
and
problem.
Smoking as quickly as possible, dumping it into it again.
Chain piping.
Fine, I'll give a couple silver and then get some tobacco from this fancy shop, and then just start smoking and have no idea how to smoke, but I do it anyway,
Nice.
and I think I look real cool. Smoking isn't cool, kids. Don't smoke.
However, out of a silver pipe in a fantasy land, maybe we can.
Super cool.
Super cool. So I was just having a look. So rare spices, which we can equate this to for now, is a gold. So it would cost you a gold to get a jar to allow you to repack, resmoke, and rudimentary matchsticks or a fire light generation system for you to ignite said tobacco. So while you're
I'm fine. Let's keep
You
going.
have to inhale deeper.
it's not reaching your toes, you're not doing it.
Seems counterproductive.
So with this, sorry.
I think I was just gonna make a snarky comment.
Always time for a snarky comment. However, with this sort of puff of smoke, like a chimney or a sort of train chimney stack, sort of puffing alongside you, you approach the wrought iron gates with seems to be a gentleman just stood on the inside. Gates are closed. He appears to be sort of moderately armored, but well turned out.
Hello.
All right, I'll approach him. Oh yeah, that's.
I just say
Hello.
hi, and then I let you approach because I'm bad at talking.
Hello, sir. We're here to inquire about the escorting that was posted out on the board.
Yes. The job, yes. Yeah, I'll let you in. I think Lord Aldrich is able to see visitors. I'm sure the staff in the house will be able to better direct you. And you can see him sort of slightly panicked. Doesn't seem to be overly familiar with his duties, but he sort of moves across and unlatches the metal latch on the gate, and you can hear it kind of, and as he draws it open and allows you to gain entry into the grounds, as it were.
I accidentally blow smoke in his face. Sorry. I'm learning how to aim. I was trying to ring.
I think you ain't well enough. House is.
All right, I'll stop.
House is that way. And he points you along a clearly defined path to the main house. You didn't need signposting in any way, shape, form, or description, but
Thank you, sir.
that way. And so as you approach and sort of moving through the grounds, you see there's a separate dwelling, which is, it looks like one of the houses you've just been in that's been lifted and dropped into this almost encampment with the walls around it. But it's got beautiful white paint. It's got nice wood beam structures. It's sort of tiled in a tiled roof rather than sort of any kind of other sort of lesser roof construction.
Thatch. Catches on fire
thatch
every year.
You definitely don't want that around. But it looks a little bit, let me say, I won't say deteriorated, but it certainly pales in comparison. That's a better use of words. Pales in comparison to the main house, which is sort of opposite and adjacent, using too many words there, which is sort of broad, tall, deep, has almost a castle-like sort of structure to it. But it also has this beautifully tiled roofing with what appears to be at least an attempt at guttering and a sort of guttering system. It has sort of wood surrounds and structures, and it just looks like ostentatious. You've come up from the grime that was the lower city and the resides of the lowborn to this opulent, almost verging on extravagant house with the disparity between the two. And at the front, as you approach the front door, there is a sort of a porch which has columns come down, allowing you to be sheltered as you would wait to gain entry into this main house. These two beautifully carved wooden doors with metal braces stand closed as you approach, and there seems to be a sort of lever and sort of latch mechanism to sort of ring like a doorbell almost.
I just get a little excited. I'm like, can I ring the doorbell?
It's not like
This
I
is on
can
the main
reach.
house, right?
Is it the main house with the doorbell?
Yeah.
I get like a whole bunch.
So what you would normally hear ringing out would be like a goo-dum, but what actually rings out, because you're like, it's like
Put my hand on Kelly's shoulder and just kind of pull her back slowly from the bell.
it sort of gives
That's-
out one last sort of sad ring, and and you wait. It's moment, considering how much you rang it. It's like exceptionally fast. You hear just the gentlest of footsteps behind, and the door is opened by a sort of elder looking lady, turned out in a very, I want to say stereotypical, but it's sort of the black sort of servant style dress with the sort of the white pinny over the front, sort of doesn't have the duster in hand or anything like that, but the sleeves sort of roll back, showing bare arms, or forearms at least. May I help you?
Yes, ma'am. We're here to inquire about the escort job.
Ah, yes. Lord Waldorf will take you in his study. Please, follow me. And
I
seeing
ring the
sight,
doorbell one more time, and then I go inside.
she gives you an odd, sort of wry smile almost, as she sort of turns and asks you to follow her into the main house. And so I thought you were going to say something.
I was going to ask, I know that magical healing isn't a thing, but could I have been bandaged up on the way here at some point?
Not if you want tobacco.
It'll be
You need
okay.
Fine.
You'll be all right.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm like 4 away from a moderate.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
That's
fine. It's fine.
that's
Totally fine.
something you can maybe negotiate within the confines of the house. As she leads you through, and so as you enter within one door, but this sort of double door entrance, this long, beautiful sort of hallway, it's got this sort of red sort of rug that covers what could be marble or something like that as a main flooring. You can see stands that hold vases of sort of beautiful flowers. Definitely not native to the town anyway. It has sort of a couple of pictures that line the walls, and then it sort of disappears. And as you're moving through, there's a dining room. There seems to be like a drawing room, and then further on into the building, you can see a sort of beautifully crafted stairwell, sort of wide stairwell that would lead upstairs. Um, and you are sort of, before you get that deep in, you're then sort of guided almost gently with just hand motions, no contact as such, but just a gentle guidance into this study. And the marble floor and the red carpets changed to like a soft green carpet. Um, and as you go in, there's beautifully crafted leather chairs, a fireplace with this amazing hearth, which has a couple of sort of trophies hung over it, but they are just the skulls. They're not the full beast. And then there are paintings that line the wall to the left as you enter, with bookcases on the right hand side, as it were. and standing in there, arms tucked behind their back, facing away from you, more towards the fire, is a approximately 6 foot male, sort of grayish hair, and he doesn't acknowledge your presence initially. He just kind of stands there, well turned out, seems to be some sort of tunic or suit kind of outfit, and sort of very nice shoes from what you can see.
If he's deigning not to look at us, can I? Is there something cool in this room I could steal, or
What are you gaining is cool?
what do I think is cool?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I don't want just gold. I want something neat. I want like a little swan figurine made out of glass or some shit. Like I like like yeah, something cute, something cool. I don't know.
Something that you can tell your grandkids. This one. No, I stole this one out of a manor.
And he was right in the room.
He was right there in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a. Where's my list of checks gone? What's going on? It's not sleight of hand in this system. It's something slightly different.
Skullduggery?
Yes, that sounds good enough for government work. There it is.
Okay, skullduggery then.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sounds good. So if I match, it's fine, right? That's the second time I've done this. But matching is cool.
Well, I'm going to say matching is cool. Feel free to correct me in the chat, which I can't see. Dickie, you'll have to double check if someone's correcting me.
Right now, last I saw, we're talking about 420, so
okay,
we're great.
Happy with that. So as you sort of have a look around, there are some beautiful sort of some of them are like alabaster, some of them are like a curved. It's not crystal, but it's like a sculpted glass figurine. There is a set of crystal glass. Well, they look like crystal, so why not in a place like this? Crystal sort of flutes sat in a drinks bureau, more towards the window, so it would actually be even further out of this gentleman's sort of eye line. There's no mirror for him to sort of look behind you. He's just very much almost lost in his own thoughts as you guys enter. So you are able to pick up one of those.
Great.
If you wish.
Perfect.
I did look it
crystal.
up. That was the right skill.
Nice. What about the rest of you while Locke is sidestepping and swiping?
Staying quiet while Locke is doing.
After probably being given a look, I'm just smoking my pipe very quietly, not touching anything.
I'll wait for Locke to finish before I call attention to the fact that we're there.
Thank you.
But presuming that Locke has pocketed the item, I'll say, "Hello, sir. We are here to inquire. We are your escorts. I believe you had posted a listing on the board."
Yes, quite so. It's not for me per se, but for my son Tarquin. I need a team, and he looks around and surveys you. A team of individuals to take my son to Anderida. Are you familiar with this place?
I'll say absolutely we are. I have guile as well, so if I need to roll, I can.
Kelly was about to shake her head no, but then stops.
Roll me guile just to see.
Sure. I also have a plus 20% because I have the skill Forked Tongue because I'm a cultist. So I'm rolling this at 80.
Wow.
And
Nice.
I critically pass.
He says, excellent. I see that maybe you have been there yourself, which is reassuring to know. Yes, Tarquin will be traveling with you. He'll be down shortly. He's finishing packing his items that he will need. He's a brave boy, and I'm proud of him, but it is time for him to do his family duty. And This requires a short journey with yourselves. Should go on.
Oh, say absolutely. And who will we be meeting up with when we arrive?
Tarquin has all the details. I will not divulge too much. He will have a map as well, so fear not for getting lost.
So
Uh,
I'm not trained in scrutinize, but can I like see if he's actually proud of his son or if he's just bullshitting this?
yeah, you can absolutely go for it. Yeah.
I know that it says something about special skills and no ranks and all that stuff, but I don't.
Right. So if it's not in italics, if it's in italics, then you would autofill if you don't have a point in it. But anything that's in plain text, you can still roll.
Oh, gotcha. Fantastic. I already forgot what I was doing. Scrutinize. Nope, I failed. I got
All
an
right.
84.
Uh,
Seems like a very
his-
proud father.
yes, his words sort of fill you with a sort of
I wish my dad was proud of me.
pause. And he says, yes, Tarquin has a special role, and you can see him as he sort of speaks out. His head sort of almost subconsciously and naturally tilts towards a couple of the paintings on the wall, and he sort of snaps back. It is a requirement of the gentleman in the family to undertake certain commitments. I have done so, and now it is my son Tarquin's turn.
So using my cultist eye, I'm gonna kind of glance around as what he's talking about because now that we know that the gem is from the outsider, and I already kind of get the feeling that they might want to try and sacrifice this or something. I'm gonna kind of take a look around and see if there's anything that catches my eye or anything that my god would point out to me.
I'd love to look at the paintings.
All right. So looking at the paintings, and I'll tie one onto the other since I imagine Gladiolus, your eye would then draw Seth's eye to the painting. Is that fair?
Mhm.
Or paintings? The paintings depict. At first, they seem like sort of stills of a hunt or something that there seems to be sort of action or movement and a sense of theatre going on. And one of them you look at has sort of humanoids or humans on horseback that appear to be carrying weapons, and what would you might expect to be a beast of nature. In fact, at second glance, now you're taking the time to look at the painting, it seems to almost have a demonic form to it. There's a slight twist, and as this sort of scene is emblazoned sort of on the wall for all to see, there's a few clues that Seth you pick up using that sort of knowledge about the ruby from before. And the more you look around the room, definitely in the painting there seems to be this sort of triangular shape that sort of sits almost hidden in the frame, and then just in spots on within the painting itself. The carpet, as you now sort of begin to scan the room, appears to have a almost triangular pattern woven into it. And the skull that sits above the mantelpiece. Do me. Is there nature? There's animal handling. That's not quite the right thing. What was that? Do a folklore check for me.
Sure.
Does this look familiar to me? Because my family, it was a drawback of mine that my family made a deal with the devil with this.
You would have a sense that you'd be able to pick out the creature as demonic in its sort of construction. So on one side of the painting is this creature, this shape, and on the other is these sort of humans on horseback with spears and swords, shields, sort of charging at each other effectively. And that's the sort of the moment captured by the painting.
I will pass. I pass. I rolled a 10.
All right. The skull, it doesn't look like like a wild cat or a large woodland creature, it seems to have a more unusual shape. And looking at it and having a second look, even though it's sat above the fire, there seems to be sort of almost the remnants of flame burns within the sockets and within the sort of the mouth. And rolling as low as you did, even though it's not a crit. Yeah. You could reasonably assume that this is like a warg, not a warg, a Barghest skull. Um, you can roll more if you want to learn more about that, but it's definitely not a beast of nature, as it were.
Okay. So I have two questions. Number one, is the outsider a particularly violent deity? To my knowledge.
To your, the outsider, to your knowledge, is violent as it's
Me-
not as bad as a few of the other princes, the prince of pain and decay, but will use violent acts should it need to restore certain balances in its mind, as it were.
And then the other question I had is, are demons common knowledge in this universe?
They
Like,
are, yeah, go on.
for us to talk about it.
They are more whispers and rumors. They are, the things that exist in the woods, more superstition than, oh, there goes another one kind of situation.
Oh, there's
You
Gary,
know,
always raising them demons.
yes, they don't often pop in for a bolt of cloth and that kind of
Demons
thing.
broke into in the barn again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left all these whiskey bottles around. Darn
Take a beer,
demons.
take oil. So, Gladios, did you have a question, or was I just sort of caught on a tangent then?
No, I think I was just sort of.
Oh, it was
seeing
about your family, wasn't it? Yeah.
My family history, seeing if it had any, if I could pick anything out. And how would we get payment for this little entourage that we're creating to guide your son through this ceremony of sorts?
Oh, it's quite simple. Of course, you deliver my son. I receive word, on your return to the manor, you shall receive payment. It's a simple and straightforward task. Obviously, you will be compensated for any
Of course.
requirements.
Might we make a request as an advance that do you possibly have a doctor on staff in the manor that could take a look at our friend before we go? We want to make sure we're all in tip-top shape as to protect your son.
Yes, of course. We can delay travel until tomorrow if one of you needs rest in the house.
I
You
just got a
can-
real bad bruise. I don't think anything's broken, but whenever I touch it, it hurts.
I think a
Hmm.
night's rest would be most welcome before we set off. Might we meet with your son?
Yes, absolutely. I'll get Martha to set up some beds for you. Tell me, what families are you from?
Um,
I don't know.
can I use Guile again to just name something that's fancy? I'm not an aristocrat, but I'm definitely can make it seem like I am one.
Try guile or charm.
I'll go with Guile since I have that with such a high skill. Pass.
Oh,
Can
Could
I?
intimidate him into believing.
I mean, that's true too.
might be counterproductive.
Is he in the same social class as me? An
Yep.
aristocrat? Okay. Can I I assume I'm not dressed to the nines, dressed like a burger. Can I lie to him and tell him I'm a burger?
If you so wish, you can. I was going to say charm, but that's the wrong thing.
I have also a trait called doppelganger, or a talent. When masquerading as someone of a social class other than my own, I gain a +20 base chance to disguise tests.
All right. Well, also use guile. Act, assume. No, disguise. Act, assume, identity, social class. So roll disguise with your benefit. For your bonus.
I'll just say Graves family. Probably never heard of them. But we're cool.
17.
So a pass.
The Dise family.
Okay. And you, Locke?
So he's a burger. So his family name Woods is just a name,
That.
right? That he can
Yep.
drop.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, he just say that. He was like, I'm with the Woods family.
Yes, I understand. Martha. Sorry, Gladiolus. Did you say you were trying to present yourself as an aristocrat?
No, I'm
No,
trying to
you want to
cast
say
myself
the burger.
lower.
You want to push down the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Martha, we're having a do for Tarquin before he leaves tomorrow, as it turns out. Ensure these three are put up in the guest house. This gentleman will stay here in the main house as my guest. And she's like, yes. Martha, bring Tarquin down, would you? It's about time he met his escort. Of course.
Kelly would just go, why do you get special treatment? Is it because you're fancy?
We can talk about it later.
If you get good booze, I want some.
You get the aristocrat pretending to not be an aristocrat. Someone pretending to be an aristocrat.
It's
This
all
is
good.
my thing. I get inside of their establishment and then just start to destroy everything.
Destroy the establishment from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
See how that goes. So as
It's the Illuminati.
that was an A. That one, whatever. As Martha disappears, and you can hear footsteps as she ascends up into the building. And then a few minutes pass while you're all sort of stood in silence. Actually, he refers to the painting that now he's sort of seen that you guys were stood close to. Ah, yes, that's Caspian Wardorf facing down some troubles in the past. It's a cherished family memory. Something I hope my son Tarquin will repeat.
Is he
Time
strong?
ceremony?
That was like 3 questions at once.
I just said, is he strong?
He has the potential.
Hmm. Could I take him? I don't say that.
Are you sure? A few minutes pass and sort of Martha reappears in the doorframe. Lord Tarquin. And he strides in. Oh, Daddy! Daddy! What is it? I'm here. Oh, who are these people?
I could take him.
Tarquin, these are your escort. This gentleman will be staying in the main house with us tonight and the others in the guest house. One appears to be injured, so we will right this wrong before they set off with you tomorrow. Oh, that's a good thing, Daddy.
I lift up like half my shirt and show a gigantic bruise the size of the guy's fist.
Oh, wow. Where did you get such a bruise?
I fought like 10 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
only one hit got in.
Tarquin, we must calm ourselves down. Right so, Daddy. Right so. I'm ready for my writ of passage.
I hate him so much.
Odd level sort of silence between them for a moment.
Do we need to bring anything special for this rite of passage, or is it a...
Tarquin sort of whips round you and says, well, I've heard there's a highwayman out on the road. That's why Daddy wants me to have an escort, so I can get to Anderida in good time.
Ow.
Of course.
Kelly's just like, I don't like that noise.
Gladiolus made no noise. She just smiled through just a big smile. Where's that rat?
So we pretty much established that Tarquin's kind of a weenie, right?
Mm.
All right.
I say, what do you call me there, man?
Oh, it's a compliment in amongst the burgers.
Oh, Daddy, the lesser people are complimenting me.
Can we
I
please-
can't hear the word daddy one more time. I'm going to scream also.
Don't worry, we'll be setting off tomorrow. And go on.
No, I'll just say excellent and just kind of let's see. So pretty much do we have everything we need really at this point? We're just going to be staying the night and getting Kelly some help, right?
Mental and physical.
Sounds good.
So
I'm going to ask for some booze before we leave. And if I don't get a yes, I'll just take some. Or no, I'm going to ask Locke. I'm going to ask Locke to grab some for me. Because Locke is sneakier than me.
I can. Maybe.
Do you ask outright for alcohol?
I will say, since I'm in so much pain right now, because I kick so many people's butts, can I have some alcohol with the nurse to help ease the pain?
Yes. Martha, ensure that this one has everything she needs for recuperation. Beverage or medicine.
Can I get the good stuff though? Because like the bad stuff does not numb it anymore. Like I'm immune to it. It's just like doesn't do anything.
She doesn't respond to you directly, Kelly. She sort of gives a sort of graceful head nod towards Lord Tarquin, and it's as she sort of spins to turn out the room, she sort of gives you a coy smile, as though understanding what you mean, and sort of heads off out back into the house.
Never mind, Locke.
Do the four of us get a moment alone without anyone else in the room?
Very surely you will. Yeah.
They are absolutely going to kill us. Or something. There's something not right here.
So Tarquin, sort of oblivious to everything other than still being amazed by the bruise on that Kelly has.
It's a really
sort
good
of
bruise. You should have seen the other guy though.
Oh yes. Oh, Daddy, I'm gonna go and finish packing. And he sort of goes off out the room. I must apologize for my son. He is excitable, but he has great potential.
Has duct tape been invented yet? No reason.
Gags certainly have been.
Well, so have garrots. No, let's not incite that. And it's while you are having this sort of last minute conversation, a female rolls into the room. She's sat in a wheelchair and she rolls in. She says, "Father, why can't I accompany Tarquin on this travel?" And he turns to her and says, "Geraldine, you have paid the price required. You have completed the writ required of you. That's why you will be matriarch of the house when I have passed. Come, let us discuss this matter away from our guests. Please," and he turns to each of you. "My daughter and I have some matters to discuss about the estate."
I just look at her like, one day I want to hear the story about what you did, because I bet it was awesome.
She kind of looks towards you. Daddy, come on. And sort of, she guides him out effectively.
Stop calling your father Daddy. It's weird.
Can
I say,
eavesdrop
somebody
on
called
this?
Daddy. The four of you now have that moment to yourselves. Martha is elsewhere in the house collecting supplies for the guest house and probably making a suitable bed or bedding arrangement for yourself, Seth. and the others are scattered to the wind, effectively in this vast construction.
So you think we're gonna be killed?
Probably. There's some creepy demons in that picture over there, and I don't like that he just said that you've already completed what is required of you. And also the
So
sun kind of seems like
you think the rite of passage is killing people?
or summoning demons or something. I don't know. It's
Demons aren't real.
they're definitely real.
They're just stories.
How wrong you are, Kel.
And
I have
every-
folklore too, but I'm not even gonna roll it. I'm just like, they're not real.
And
It is
every story
possible
has.
it is possible that they could seek to sacrifice us to bring about this demon, as they don't, or so I've heard, normally just manifest themselves. Usually there's, from what I've heard, a ritual or something.
A ritual, like tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I rest my
Oh.
case.
Maybe we should ask for half of our pay up front.
You might
I
not
don't
be a-
think we're going to get it, as I don't assume that we're intended to return.
Well,
They
the
could
even
just
more
flip it.
reason why they should give it to us, because then they could just take it off
it
of
off.
our dead bodies.
Fair.
Exactly, Kelly. Exactly.
And then when we kill them, we don't lose out on all that money.
A few minutes go past while you're having this conversation, and you hear the soft steps footsteps out in the corridor. That even in this short time, you can only imagine to be Martha, and she appears at the door. Shall we? I will show you to your accommodation for the evening.
Lovely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can I stay in the fancy room?
The guest house has certain accommodations that may be suitable, but you require medical attention, if I'm not mistaken, and therefore
Yeah.
will stay in the infirmary of sorts we have in the guest house.
Okay.
And she begins to head towards back out into the main sort of hallway, main corridor, and towards the front doors.
Do we hear any voices in rooms as we pass by? Particularly that of the older Waldorf individual we met and the daughter.
It might be awareness. There might be some other skill involved.
Eavesdrop?
Could it be eavesdropping?
Eavesdrop. There we go. They've actually designed a skill for it. Kind of.
I would love to
Eavesdrop,
try
yeah.
and eavesdrop. Yeah, that's a 6.
Nice. So as you slow your pace, last to leave the room and sort of ease up, you do hear the two voices of Lord Waldorf, or Aldrich Waldorf, and Geraldine having a conversation. It's closer to the stairwell that ascends up into the rest of the house, this sort of opulent grand stairwell, and just sort of hanging around there. She's like, "But father, I can protect Tarquin. You know I'm capable." "I'm sorry, Geraldine. You have completed the traditions, and you will be made matriarch. It is not required of you to do so. These group of individuals that have come to the house, I'm sure, will be sufficient to guard Tarquin on this journey. Look, let us not speak of it any more. Your mother has a specific task for you, Geraldine, and when you are ready, you will ascend to the matriarchy." "Yes, father." And it kind of tails off.
Sounds like some half-demon stuff. Gonna become queen of the demons.
Or demon killers, I guess. Awful.
Martha, realizing you sort of start to space out behind her, please, follow me to the guest house. Master, you may remain here in the main house if you wish until I have accommodated your friends.
Yes, I think I shall. And I'll kind of start to look around the house a little bit more as they're taking care of that.
All right, we'll come back to you in a moment. Then, as the three of you are led across the sort of the courtyard, you can hear the sort of rural, sort of allotment, farmyardy section. You can hear sort of the chickens and a couple of goats and things just off to one side, encased within this outer wall. And you're led across to the guest house. She spins the key in the lock, invites you in, and it's not dank or dingy. It's not in a bad condition, but clearly they don't have guests too often. And this has the second hand sort of hand-me-down furniture. The chairs aren't quite as nicely appointed. The walls they have wallpaper, but it's a plain design. There's less sort of life and love given to this. It is better than anything you'll get further down the hill, but compared to what's just across the way, it is sort of night and day almost. And she turns to you, Kelly, and she says, "If you just wait in this room here, dear, I'll see to your wounds shortly. I will show your two companions to their beds for the night. And then you
Okay.
may join us for some supper later."
She'll walk in the infirmary
All
and
right.
look through everything in there.
All right. We'll come back to that in a second. She leads you, Gladiolus, and you, Locke, up a set of stairs, so you now get an elevated view of the main house and down into Olsberg. And the rooms are each room has a double bed in it, and it's not quite four-posted, but it is well turned out. The sheets are not silk, but they are a nicer material, sort of a finer cotton weave with not straw, but like a strung mattress, almost, to give relative luxury compared to what even some of your notable houses may have in their homesteads. And she says, "Choose a room, each of you, and we'll be back to sort out food and further boarding later." Are you doing
All
anything else while you are up there?
Examining the rooms for any hidden entrances.
Yeah, I think Locke will go with Gladdy and like also look around.
Just like moving pictures a little bit, like
Do the eyes move in the pictures?
just
While you're up there, do me, I guess, awareness. Or yeah, awareness, I would guess, for this one.
yeah, nope, that is a failure.
And Locke.
Oh, cool. I wasn't sure if I was also rolling. Let me see.
Yeah, why not? I could have just done the advantage thing, but
Mine is also a failure.
all right. Everything seems like
Totally safe.
a normal guest house. Nothing seems to trigger when you tilt the pictures. The wardrobe doesn't extend into anywhere else other than the wardrobe. There's no lions or witches in the back of it. Back down the stairs, Kelly, looking around the infirmary, you can see a couple of vials, a couple of jugs. There seems to be a well sort of prepared set of band-aids and some sort of salve or cream held in a pot. You do see some sort of surgical style scissors, as it were, and a couple of small blades for sort of general healing.
I pick up the small blade, just like a while I'm waiting, and then I put it down before she gets back.
Okay.
I don't
you
take
do hear-
anything. I'm just curious.
You do hear footsteps coming back down the stairs as she moves back in your location. Seth, back in the main house, you get to start having a poke around. Is there anywhere in particular you would like to have a look through?
Pretty much anywhere that I have access to. I'm mainly looking for a ritual room.
All right. At first glance, moving from room to room, there's this sort of already set and laid dining table, sort of placed out, has candles, candelabras ready and set out. Also has this place has several fireplaces and hearths. Has a fireplace at the far end. There's another room which is a drawing room, which is more comfortable chairs and more books and a sort of just a pleasant place to be in. There's the study you guys were greeted in. Moving through the back, there seems to be a small sort of almost a utility. It's not a small, but like a utility room, which is where you heard the conversation between Aldrich Waldorf and his daughter taking place. They had moved to a back part of the room, and from that area you can smell the kitchen sort of wafting scents of various spices and flavorings, sort of not assaulting your nostrils in a bad way, but a sensory sort of overload almost. Upstairs, you can hear the voice of Tarquin Waldorf, kind of buoyant, not quite whistling a tune as such, but you can hear the excitement, if that wasn't already obvious, in his voice as he seems to be moving around the upstairs.
Going on an adventure, going on an adventure.
Daddy,
Feels
Daddy, I'm
beautiful.
going on an adventure, and that kind of stuff.
His father is sending him just so he stops saying it. He's just like, for the love of everything holy, just leave.
Just
Shut up.
That's why I was trying to get us out of here tonight.
He's like, another day? Fine.
Oh, wait, it's fine. But on first glance, you do not find anything outside of the strange sort of architectural, decorative flourishes of this strange triangular symbol, which does appear just almost discreetly in each of the rooms you look in, whether it be in the carpet, on the sort of in the overlay in the table, seems to have this triangular shape that at first glance appears to just be a beautifully polished, well decorated table. That symbol sort of stands out, but there doesn't appear to be any sort of black skulls and candles and all that sort of demonic tie-in.
Does the prince want me to do anything in the house?
Considering you failed the casting earlier, it is not the prince that you're expecting, but the Prince of Decay would like you to spoil the food.
Am I obligated to listen to him if he's not? I don't know how that works. I thought it was
That's
just
an excellent question.
I thought I just to the Prince of Change.
Yeah, but you fair. I'll say at this point in time, there is you're absorbing it all, and that information may come to you at a later point when the Prince of Change is sort of able to channel their intention for you sufficiently.
Okay.
So, as we move through into the afternoon and the time for supper approaches, there is technically no heal required to go from lightly wounded to unharmed. It's just a time thing. So your bruise would be healed over the course of the afternoon into the early evening. Is there anything the three of you in the guest house would like to do? Understanding that Kelly. Go on.
Did I get liquor?
Yes.
Then that's
Yes.
all I'm doing.
Martha would come in to provide you medical aid with the nicest bottle of liquor she can safely acquire from the house without fear of retribution.
She will drink from the bottle very happily.
Nice. What about Gladiolus and Locke? Is there anything you want to do before you attend an evening meal?
Make sure I have my anti-venom out the ready. Or my stiletto strapped to my thigh.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
nothing for
that?
me.
All
No.
right. So as Kelly enjoys a bottle's worth of alcohol, I'm not sure if you have the restraint to stop. That's entirely on you. Yeah. Didn't hear that at all.
I was muted. I'll eventually walk into the room where the others are before we go to dinner, and it's like half gone. But like, hey, what's up? Want some alcohol?
That would be to you two.
I held it up to Locke and Gladiolus.
Also,
Yeah,
you two.
sure, why not? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
Is it
All right.
real alcohol?
Yeah, I drink half of it.
Oh. Just half? That's such good restraint on your part.
Right? I'm sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drink the rest later, but you guys can have some before I finish it off.
Sweet.
All right. There will be a check for that in a bit. So as
I'm assuming just for
Right.
me because
as you three sort of congregate, share a drink together, and move, unless you tell me otherwise, move back towards the main house. You are greeted by Martha, who has collected you, Seth, from your various travels, and invites you all to move into the dining room ready for supper. And you can see that Geraldine wheels in and takes her place, and Aldrich Waldorf comes in and sits, as you may expect, at the head of the table, and then inbounds Tarquin, ready to be sort of regaled with your tales of greatness. I won't do the voice. I won't subject you to that again. I can see his face is being screwed like, no.
just don't say daddy. I will sit next to the daughter because I am curious about her tale. So I'm going to slowly try to convince her to tell me it over the course of dinner.
All right.
But I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm not very persuasive. But I'm going to try.
Alcoholic charm. Yeah, you could try
Maybe
some.
I become more persuasive the more I drink. Or at least I think I do.
Fair. So the more you drink, the more relaxed, if that's fair, you become. So you can try either charm or bargaining with her.
They're
but
the
it will
same
be,
role.
but it will be challenging, so there'll be a -10 to that. So -10%.
So I have 24% to succeed. I got a 31. I would have won if it wasn't for the freaking -10.
So the more you sort of drink and try and engage her, the more she seems to feel a little, I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but she's trying to maintain her status, knowing that you are in the guest house, and therefore she has no reason to explain herself to you. Lord Aldrich Tarquin addresses you, Seth, across the table more than any other, and Tarquin just keeps going. Several repeats to I won't say it, but to the patriarch at the table, asking various questions. You can see his excitement boils through. So, with the exception of Kelly, who is trying to speak to Geraldine, are the rest of you trying to ascertain any particular information, or are you wanting to go anywhere? Food is brought out, silver service, top notch candles.
I want to wait till after dinner and speak with Geraldine.
Okay. Are either of the
I'm
others?
just buttering her up for you.
stealing her resolve. What about Gladiolus and Locke? Is there anything you want to do over the course of dinner before we sort of move on?
Just watching the family, seeing how they interact with each other, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. You do notice that, not in a sort of break of formality, but Aldrich Waldorf does reach out and sort of gently sort of touches the wrists of his children while it's a moment of endearment. There seems to be no sinister underline. There is affection there within the sort of the facade of this aristocratic presentation and ostentation. There is clearly a bond within the family that, watching them, you do pick up. But as you are already aware, there is more than just this surface
Mhm.
level.
So, what does this ritual entail? Can you say?
Who are you asking?
Just to the family.
It's at that moment that the conversation sort of tails off a moment. And Lord Waldorf is like, is simply a sign of commitment to the family. One must give their all to benefit not only the Waldorfs, but our wider connections in the community and across this land.
Can I scrutinize him?
Sure.
I don't like how he says it. It's just-
It's a
I
fish.
think this is yes.
Yes?
Is
Is that success?
yes, success. Sorry.
So while you're all eating salmon, why not? Because fish, caught from nearby fisheries owned by various
Something
estates.
seems fishy here.
I'm glad you're enjoying your meal. The sense you get is that there is a greater weight of responsibility than definitely that Alucard, Lord Waldorf, is willing to sort of share with you, and almost that Tarquin is potentially unaware of. He knows he must do something. He has stated that plainly, blatantly, and outright, but quite what that entails is either not been fully comprehended by him or fully explained to him. Geraldine, on the other hand, gives you a placid look across the table. She seems to have absorbed your question and has internalized it.
All right, I'm gonna hold my conversation again till I can speak to Geraldine privately.
Flirt with her. No, I'm
Is there
kidding.
anything
I don't
else?
say that.
Is there anything else you would like to do at the table?
I will
Make a bunch of
eat.
fish puns.
I will eat as much food as I possibly can, and
To go
then
with the
grab bread to
alcohol?
go.
All right.
Has to soak up the liquor.
It is not too long after you've had the sort of the fifth course of this meal, as you get sort of the starter, amuse bouche and all that kind of good stuff. Second main, pudding afters, that Lord Waldorf sort of gracefully sort of slides and stands in his chair and says, "Yes, before we retire, maybe a beverage in the study." Yes. If you would like to join me, if not, you're accommodation awaits you. Tarquin, sorry, go on.
Is this just for Seth or for all of us?
Since you have undertaken this task, I will allow you to join us just this eve. Tarquin, you really should get yourself to bed, young man. It's a big day for you tomorrow. Hey, yes, Daddy. I'll go now. Off he bimbles. So unless you want to speak to him, he's off to bed. Nah, not a fan. Don't like him. Right.
We're going to have to
Why didn't we
listen to
kill
him
him on
for the
first
next couple of days.
Yeah, no.
I'm
Go to
waiting
bed.
for the
Bye bye.
I'm waiting for the atonement to be murder him, and I'm just going to do it without remorse.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
What if the atonement is you have to guard him for the rest of your life? With your life.
Find a new god.
It's not how this works.
You can't ask this of me. It's too much.
The burden.
Lord, catch.
I mean, that's
can't
part of
bear
the thing
this
with the
burden.
Lord of Change is that the requirements of his followers don't always make sense. So that would work perfectly for that.
Noted. So as Tarquin sort of exits the dining hall and sort of bounds down the corridor or the hallway and then sort of skips a couple of steps as he sort of bounces up the stairway and up the stairs off to his chamber, as it were. Martha and a few other members of waitstaff come in and sort of start tidying up and setting away, and Lord Tarquin and Geraldine invite you to join them across the hallway in the study. And as you will start to filter through, Lord Tarquin says, "There's a matter I must attend to. I'll leave you with Geraldine. She will take care of you, and Martha will bring you drinks as required. I'll return presently. Excuse me." And he goes through the corridor, but doesn't go up the stairs. He goes to the side of the stairwell where he previously had a conversation with Geraldine. And he disappears out of sight. And Geraldine leads you through into the study.
Okay. As we enter into the study and I'll get comfortable, I'll ask her. So it's very clear that we're not being told the full story, which is fine, but I'd rather not walk into something that I don't know anything about. Would you be able to tell me what exactly it is that awaits us?
Also, Adam, can you look at your messages?
Oh, God. How many? Many?
Just
Too many.
one.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. That is all good. Now I can't find the... There we are. Now I can see you all again. Do me a bargain.
Bargain or sure?
For diplomacy.
Pass.
She says, there are many levels of things that are going on, some beyond explanation. It's just the way our family has operated for many, many years. What is it you seek to understand?
And I'll kind of give her the knowing look of, listen, I am not a fool. I can see what's around this building, and I can see what's in those paintings. I merely want to know what it is that is expected of us.
You have been hired. Well, if you accept the job, you have taken in our hospitality, after all. You have been hired to deliver Tarquin to Anderida. It is as straightforward as it comes. From your perspective, at least.
Of course, but there's always strings attached with this, and clearly the fact that everybody is dodging the questions means that there is something particularly awful awaiting us now. We can handle most things, but it would be better if I knew.
I can handle everything.
She looks at you sideways, Kelly. Okay.
She just starts flexing.
The risk is minimal, should we say, to yourselves. The deliverance of Tarquin is a simple task. Once we have received word he has arrived at Anderida, you shall receive payment as you have to survive the trip back. I hear there are highwaymen on the road, but your task is the most mundane part of everything that's going to happen next.
And what exactly is going to happen next?
Tarquin must fulfill his role to the family, as I mine. It's just that each of us have a different role to embody.
Kelly just goes, "This is boring," and goes to bed.
On the couch.
Yeah, sparked out on the floor.
I'll just... Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, other than yourself, Seth, does anyone else want to ask any questions? No? All right. Do you have any more, Seth?
No, at this point I know how this game goes, and being that I am also close with a particular demonic deity, I get it. So I'm like, all right, well then I'll tell Geraldine it was a pleasure enjoying this time with her and a pleasure meeting her, and I will see myself out. I'm also going to pick up Kelly and take her over to the house.
All right. So as the four of you bed down in various states of imbibement, drunkenness, with the events of the evening through your mind and through the day, a dawn breaks, and you'll be happy to hear that it is Tarquin's voice before the rooster crows that wakes you from your slumber. Oh, it's travel day! As he comes sort of bouncing down to, not to the guest house, but you can hear him outside the main house, startling the livestock, as it were.
I
Does he have
thankfully,
one of the... Oh, go ahead.
I thankfully do not wake up with a hangover, so I don't throw something at his face.
Is he coming in with like one of those humongous backpacks that's packed with way too much stuff, like 2 weeks worth of supplies for something that's going to take 2 days?
Oddly enough, no. He appears to have a simple sword by his side, like a cloak, sort of tied to do up at the front, and just like a side sort of almost like not a rucksack, what they called it, like a small holdall, with a few minor provisions in. There's no big wagon, there's no trailer, there's no sort of 30-person trunk to shift. There is him, some small provisions, and a sword, and that is it. And his cape or cloak. He sort of almost hopping from foot to foot, excitedly awaits your arousal from your slumber.
We all wake up. Onward.
Yep.
Faster we get this done, the faster we don't have to listen and talk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We can ask him. Ever play a quiet game?
That's
Let's see you can go without.
genius idea.
Let's see you can go without talking the longest.
That worked on Kelly for like 3 days last time.
He is intrigued by your game. Ah, I think I can play this.
You've already lost.
Shall we play again?
Yes.
And you can see him clamp his mouth shut. And he's sort of one hand on his sword, bag sort of slung over the shoulder to the side, on the same side as the sword. That's probably not good sword play, but that's what he's done, because that's just Tarquin for you. Other arm is sort of giving it the big licks as he's trying. You can see he's holding back a tune as he's sort of bounding forward away from you. He's sort of opening his sort of stride, moving on out of the manor, and begins to descend the hill. How long we got before I?
Like 20 minutes.
Right. Okay, that's fine. We can just. So as you as you move out and down and through the town, through the hustle bustle, you hear the town crier again, sort of regaling tales and market prices and highwaymen on the road and all this sort of good stuff. And as you sort of move through and then out of the main walls of Augsburg, the joy and the light and everything that kind of existed up in the Waldorf Manor kind of rapidly drops away. It is grim. There are trees that are dying. The road is half cut up and half sort of broken cobblestones. Out before you lays a combination of marshland and woodland. And as you sort of all move together, because I'm going to time collapse this, as you all move together, there are sort of swarms of insects that sort of drift off into the marshland to one side. You can hear birds of prey overhead, and every so often that sort of whoosh as something like an eagle or a hawk comes racing down, picks up something, and disappears off to devour it. There is very little life. There seems to be no trade on the road today, which is unusual to say the least, but not the end of the world, as it were. And as you move on and you move further and further through, you go most of the day. And as you can continue onwards, you pass an old derelict inn that seems to sort of had recent footfall within it the last sort of day or so, using your various skills and talents. And sat across the roof of this derelict inn, there's sort of crows, like a murder of crows, sat upon the roof, clamped down, sort of watching your every move. You can hear up towards Weisheim, the mountain, the base of the mountain. You can hear. They could be wild animals. They could not be. It's quite hard to discern some of the sounds. You're walking so fast that even the finery that Tarquin is wearing seems to now be getting flicked up with mud. But having long given up on the quiet game, he held out for as long as he could. He really did. But then he gave out. He was like, oh, and then he just kind of carries on. And at one point, he draws his sword and just points it down like completely pointless. There's nobody's there. Just points his sword. Let's go! And sort of leads you forward.
How does
And
he
there's
have so
night.
much energy?
I don't know. Good question. And as night starts to fall and you get towards Anderida, you see in the distance what look to be sort of ruined castle walls, sort of broken and collapsed in certain places. And just within the last light of the sun and the soft glow of fire, there seems to be a lowly keep sat in the center of this derelict construction. Tarquin turns back to you and says, "We're here. Let's go and say hello."
To who?
Oh, Uncle Stadler, of course.
Okay. I'm out of
Someone
booze, so
lives-
hopefully they have booze.
Someone lives here. This is a derelict keep? Like,
The walls are derelict. The keep looks in pretty good condition.
oh, okay. Then,
So, and as you get closer, in the light of the flames that sort of flicker in sconces on the external side, you can see a sort of a curved archway, wooden doors shut. An individual robed, hoods up, face is sort of concealed in the shadows, stand just either side of the doorway, with a third figure closer to you, maybe 10 or 15 feet, sort of closer along the path to your location, as Tarquin sort of moves and keeps sort of geeing you up. He's like, "Come on, let's go." Yes, he still has that amount of energy at this time of the day.
Kelly will stay towards the front, closest to Tarquin, so she can charge if she needs to. Because there's no way they went through this for the last day or two, and then he just dies 15 feet away from it. That's not gonna happen.
It's not happening. So, as you all approach and Tarquin pushes out the front, do any of you want to do anything other than what has already been stated as you approach this keep and this trio of figures?
I'm readying a dispel.
Okay.
Mm.
Lock,
Tiny stiletto.
Gladio,
Just not out, but just in
ready.
my yeah. Just folded in my hand, just sort of.
My
Yeah,
weapon's
wary for sure.
Mm-hmm.
As the gap between Tarquin and this singular robed figure sort of closes, the robed figure says, "And who might we hear?" "It's me, Uncle Stadler, it's me!" "Yes." And the hood goes back. And again, it's you, Seth, that sees it first. There seems to be like a triangle just in the forehead. "Nephew, we have been waiting for this day. Please, your guests, would you come inside?"
I'm going to make sure that I tuck my pendant underneath my shirt so it's not visible.
Is there booze inside? And also, can you send letter that we sent him here so we can get paid?
"We can have word sent, yes. As for booze, I'm sure we have something to your liking. Please, step inside."
I am completely trustworthy or trusting, so
Investigate with my face.
Face and body.
I am the barbarian of the group.
Fair. So as Uncle Stadler, so Stadler Waldorf and Tarquin move towards the door, the two robed figures with their features sort of obscured by hoods reach in and open the door, and there's this odd transference of air, like a pressure change almost. And as they head in, there's an odd greenish glow from further down the corridor in a chamber from this position as yet unseen.
I want to stay outside.
Demon alarm going off.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to stay outside?
Two of you staying outside?
I'm asking if all of us want to stay outside.
Mm-hmm.
We got him here.
not the but Gladiolus's like
That is true. We technically did what we were asked. We accompanied him.
We dropped him off.
We don't have to go in.
Can I just have you sign this paper saying, just in case, just sign this paper saying we dropped him off here?
Oh, we have paper inside. If you step in, we can have one signed, and you may be on your way if you wish.
I'm gonna roll a thing for that.
Can I scrutinize?
That's the word.
Yeah,
I'm bad at it, but
why does he want us to get inside so badly?
Have you asked him that?
why?
Is there really any need for us to come inside?
Well, the night is dark and full of terrors. You wouldn't want the highwaymen to catch you on such a darkened night.
Oh, I'll beat them up.
Here
It's
is
fine.
quite vicious.
We're well
Are we opposed to me attacking him?
let's try and inspect him first before we can punch him in the face.
All right.
I got a
So-
44, so I failed.
Fail.
I technically crit fail, but it's
You
like
did
I
crit
missed by 4, so it's weird.
It's a crit fail. And-
That's a success.
Okay. He, while sounding a little bit foreboding, comes across as genuine in his invitation to step inside, and not in a weird, creepy, sinister way. It is, you might be better off inside.
Kelly's like, okay, and steps in.
So he just
I-
sounds foreboding, not just like, we want you to come in, for we will.
Please come in for dinner.
It is not super
know you-
sinister.
I know you visited with my brother Dracula.
We're having some friends over. I'm having a friend over for some fava with some fava beans and a
And a
nice
nice
glass of Chianti.
Yes. So, do you step inside?
I did.
Kelly
I
did.
trusted
Kelly
him.
stepped in.
What's the green light at the end of the hallway? It's an interesting color for a lamp.
It is all part of Tarquin's writ.
Hmm.
It is something that he must undertake alone. You'd be far safer in one of these chambers here, just off this main hallway. Please make yourselves comfortable if you wish. It won't take too long for us to draft a letter to send back to our brethren.
Is Tarquin gonna eat Warpstone? What's going on? Or the game's equivalent of Warpstone?
You never know.
Is Tarquin
Well,
gonna get eaten by
minor.
a demon?
Well, the game's Gladiolus is gonna walk in, just acting
So-
all innocent like.
Kelly's in. Gladiolus is in.
Sure.
Seth is
I'll
in.
go in.
All right. As you all go in, the doors are closed behind you because why would you leave the door open on a keep,
Mhm.
trying to keep everybody safe? And
Mm-hmm.
the robed figures, they don't push past you, but they make their way past you as you stand in the corridor and down towards this soft green glow. And you hear the shuffling of feet and a rhythmic, kind of repetitive rhythmic chant begins. Seth can do me folklore if
Sure.
you wish.
Since we're still by the door,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna make sure it's not locked.
Okay.
Is it
The door-
locked?
The door just has a bar across it. It is not
Okay.
locked in place, but it is secure, should we say. The door
I
is
can
secure.
get that off though, so it's fine. Okay.
I passed.
Okay. From your learnings, readings, teachings, and submissions to your cult paper or magazine or zine or whatever it is you guys distribute out, your pamphlet, your hand around, this sounds like a ritual has been set in motion. Something has instigated this rhythmic chanting, and as the chorus, as it becomes not overly loud, but like a softer drone of repetitive verbiage, the energy, that green glow that you can't, again, the source of which is obscured from where you currently are, seems to illuminate ever so more, sort of lights up and then softens and then lights up a bit longer and softens.
So pulsing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna like tap them, the group.
Hmm.
Be like, I'll just tell you that this isn't good.
I mean, it's really pretty. The green light.
Yeah. And I'll stand back up, and I'm still gonna have my counterspell readied.
All right. You hear the dulcet tones of Tarquin. I don't think that's entirely fair at all, but you hear the excited sort of shrill almost, as you hear the deeper tones of Statler Waldorf explaining something. The words aren't clear, but they're echoing down in your location, so it's like I'm very uncle.
Daddy uncle.
Not quite. That would just be
That's
weird.
what I heard.
Tarkin just calls everyone Daddy.
That's literally what I heard.
And you hear what sounds like impacts into water. Blish, blish. And then the chorus rises, and that sustained pulse of illumination sort of stays, and the whole structure you can feel, especially you, Seth, with your various connections, kind of draws energy, almost like it's drawing air and energy out of the structure and everything within it, and it's drawn down that corridor down towards where that glowing intensifies, and the chanting lifts in its volume again, and again, and it gets bigger and louder, and the sound of movement in water becomes heavier. And you can hear the chanting again, and the Kelly, the door behind you, you've checked, is barred. Now feels like it's been barred to stop it flying open, not to lock you in, as the whole frame in this metal, sort of brick stone construction vibrates, and the whole place you think is about to crack in places. And then you hear this almost ungodly splash, and then a horrendous growl. But it is not animalistic. It is like, the best source of reference is like the Hulk. Gives out this guttural growl, and then you hear this sort of heavy impact on the ground, and it's moving towards you as a group and towards the start of this entranceway.
Who's ready to go?
Yeah, we're leaving.
How long have we got left?
Not long.
All right. Stepping out and into the bottom of this corridor, now stepping into view, is a huge, get the right picture up, seemingly now armored dreadnought, almost of a humanoid form, blackened face, or face lost behind like a plated metal armor structure, sword that is easily as wide as Gladiolus, potentially as long as the pair of Gladiolus and maybe Kelly put together, as it sort of draws this weapon and begins to stride up the stairs. You can hear now as it enters the hallway where you are, it feels that the metal that has been forged onto this frame is scraping along the corridor. It fills it. It towers above even you, Seth, as it sort of lumbers down.
Is there somewhere to hide, like a closet? I could just like dresser even.
There were chambers either side of the corridor. You just chose to stay in the middle. Roll stealth for me.
What?
Where is Tarquin? Isn't this his thing? Or is
What if this is Tarquin?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is this Tarquin? Maybe we could just talk.
Does this sword look?
Seth, as you set eyes upon this and have felt a channeling of energy, your atonement is to travel with this entity.
It's Tarquin.
What did you roll for stealth? What did you roll for stealth?
A failure. That was like a 92.
Scraping along the corridor, sword sort of almost pointed, but being dragged in a weird sort of hand-eye coordination kind of setup. It towers above you, and it doesn't appear to have facial features. I don't have a picture, annoyingly, to hand, but it is huge. It seems to be aiming in your direction, is how I'm going to phrase it. It is heading towards you as a group, as you are, at least Gladiolus is scrambling against the walls to try and find somewhere to hide.
Kelly will stand in front of everybody else with her weapon ready.
Does the sword look like Tarquin's sword, but bigger?
Do me a what's perception? It's not perception. I still haven't sussed these out.
Awareness?
Scrutinize.
I could do scrutinize. That is a critical success.
The briefest glimpses you get of this sword, it is as though Tarquin's blade has been amped up to, like, I say 11, but it's well beyond that. It's like whoosh. It is sort of that wide, that thick, going down to a single point. The hilt is clearly a sort of, to anyone else, maybe not Kelly, like a dual-handed or Zweihander weapon. As it's being dragged single-handedly by this brute as it steps. It is probably 10 feet from you, Kelly.
I tell everybody to run as I stand my ground. And I try to intimidate him to back the fuck off. Because it's gotta work.
It's got to work. So,
Otherwise, it's gonna be. I'm gonna die, maybe.
with Kelly forming the vanguard, Seth tied to this being's existence, Gladiolus, and I don't know, what are you doing, Locke?
I would also. I wanted to hide, but like, if Gladiolus can't hide, I guess he's just going to stand by Gladi.
And with
We're
you
just
two,
like,
Yep.
with you two sort of pinned up close to the main door, that is where we'll end. On a cliffhanger.
Oh.
Well, maybe if we play this again, we all die, or maybe everything's fine and
it's just
it's great.
it's Tarquin. It's he's just same personality. He's just 10 feet bigger. Just like
Daddy!
Daddy.
My only question is, can he speak? If the answer is no, then I'm putting my rapier in the ground. If the answer is yes, then I am going to attack him and probably die because I now upset the Prince of Change.
All right, so why
We'll
don't
find
we
another time.
why don't we go around and have everybody say where they're from before we end the stream tonight? Adam, you want to go first?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Adam, the DM and interviewer for Snide's Return, a tabletop role-playing interview podcast, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Darby?
Hello. I'm Darby. I'm one half of Chaotic Creations, a podcast where we take weird prompts and make weird TTRPG characters. Yeah, you could also find me kind of scattered all over Twitch and Twitter. So,
Dan?
Oh yeah, I'm Dan. The DM of The Last Tapestry, which is a 1920s 5e podcast with time shenanigans, and you can find us on Twitter at The Last Tapestry.
Alex?
I'm Alex. You can find me on most social media outlets as Alex the DM 89. That includes TikTok because I started one yesterday for some reason. I'm not involved in any projects at the moment. However, I will be the storyteller for an upcoming Vampire the Masquerade game with Beholder to No One.
And I am Nikki, the host and creator of Beholder to No One, where we talk about D&D and TTRPGs, and I do way too many shows. But that's okay, because they're all fantastic. You can also find us soon on Sound Control for a sci-fi Savage World game that Dan will be running. And I am super excited for. So, yes, so you can find me at Beholder to No One on Twitter or at Sound Control RPG. And thank you guys so much for joining. This was a blast, and thank you for everybody who listened. Thank you. Thank you for letting us stream on here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zweihander, for letting us stream on your platform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you did your game a good turn.
We are chaos.
sees one of our members stealing, says nothing so that they can steal in peace.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.